also a gunshot victim. That person was transported to JMH, and then they started to battle the fire.
Audio courtesy of WPLG. Chryslers are calling more than 211,000 SUVs and pickup trucks in the U.S.
The recall covers certain model year 2022 Dodge Durango, Ram 2500, and Ram 3500 vehicles. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says they may experience a malfunction in their anti-lock braking control module. That result in a failure in stability control and increase the risk of a crash. Chrysler is unaware of any related injuries or accidents. Dealers will update the anti-lock braking control module software for free. I'm Mike Hempen.
Apple has jumped into the race to bring generative artificial intelligence to the masses. During its Worldwide Developers Conference Monday, the tech giant spotlighted a slew of features designed to soup up the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. On Wall Street, Dow futures are off 119 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten.
Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Bible.
Soldiers, police officers, and forest rangers are continuing to search for a missing military plane carrying Malawi's vice president. It's expected to have crashed in a mountainous region in the north of the country. Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera says he understands everyone is concerned.
I know that this is a heartbreaking situation. I know that we are all frightened and concerned. I too am concerned. But I want to assure you that I am sparing no available resource to find that plane. And I am holding on to every fiber of hope that we will find survivors.
The plane was also carrying 8 other passengers. The International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor is appealing for information and evidence of atrocities in Sudan's western Darfur region. He says, news and analysis at townhall.com. Stocks break more records.
Stocks ticked to more record highs on Wall Street ahead of a week with several top-tier reports on inflation, as well as the Federal Reserve's latest meeting on interest rates. The S&P 500 rose 0.3% Monday, topping the record high it set last week. The Dow rose 69 points. That's about 0.2%. The Nasdaq Composite ticked up 0.3%, setting its own all-time high. Energy stocks rose as crude oil prices regained some of the recent losses. A buyout of diamond offshore drilling by rival Noble also helped lift the energy industry. European stocks fell following surprise results in elections for the European Parliament over the weekend. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note rose to 4.47%. Seth Sutel, New York.
Bill Gates and his energy company are starting construction at their Wyoming site for a next-generation nuclear power plant he believes will revolutionize how power is generated. More on these stories at townhall.com.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. A real nice night tonight. Low down to a mild 56 degrees. We'll have low humidity, lots of sunshine, and a nice warm 83 degrees for the high on Tuesday. It's going to be a great day. Wednesday's a little hotter, a little more humid, but still a nice day. Mostly sunny, just a hotter 91 for the high. We will have more heat at the end of the week. Next chance of rain won't come till Thursday night into Friday morning. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Rodney and Jen Wallner and the entire Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Call them today at 314-810-SOLD. 314-810-SOLD.
Tim Jones here with Dr. Pat Fader of Comprehensive Chiropractic. Doc, I hear you all have a new treatment program for everyone's chronic knee pain.
Tim, that's right. We are helping patients with chronic knee pain by addressing the root cause of their condition.
And what makes your program so unique?
Well, Tim, many programs focus on just one component of the problem, the structural component. Our program focuses on the metabolic and neurologic component to complete the picture and improve our patients' outcomes. We get to the root cause of what is driving inflammation in a person's body and address it directly.
For your chronic knee pain and more, visit cchiropractic.com. All information, make an appointment at cchiropractic.com.
When you make a big promise, you have to back it up with big actions, and that's what my friends at Window World do. Mike Ferguson here from my friends at Window World. Give them a call today, 314-993-1800. They are simply the best for less double-strength glass windows that have a lifetime warranty on them. And now, for the first time ever, Window World offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Get your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 314-993-1800.
Free speech is alive and well in America.
Thanks for taking my call.
Right here.
My point about the governor there, it is absolutely about power.
I read this, I almost fell out of my chair.
News Talk STL.
This thing is just absolutely dripping with iron.
News, analysis, opinion.
I'm Ainsley Earhart.
I'm Trey Gowdy.
I'm Madison Allworth, and this is the Fox News Rundown.
Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. I'm Jessica Rosenthal. The latest Fox News poll shows the president slipping with some minority groups as former President Trump tries to capitalize on small but significant gains with Black and Hispanic voters.
He has to acknowledge the problem and speak to the future in a way that gives people hope for a better future. And so far, to the best of my knowledge and experience, he hasn't done that.
I'm Dave Anthony. As Russia keeps waging war in Ukraine, there is concern about what they're doing much closer to us.
We obviously don't want any kind of repeat of the infamous Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't think they would put nukes there or even try.
And I'm Janice Dean. I've got the final word on the Fox News Rundown.
Poll numbers show Black voters still largely favor President Biden over former President Trump. They still consider themselves Democrats or lean Democrat. A Pew Research report, for example, released May 20th, showed 83% identify with or lean to the Democrats, and 77% of Black registered voters say they would prefer to vote for Biden over Trump. And yet, that 83% of Black voters being with Democrats, well, 4 years ago, it was 88%. It doesn't mean Black voters are jumping over to former President Trump, but some are, and even a little shift in a tight election can matter in swing states. The latest Fox News poll of mostly swing states finds former President Trump doing better with Black voters in Virginia and Florida. Former President Trump held a rally in the Bronx during his felony business record trial in Manhattan last month.
I can't wait for that inflation to go down. I would tell Donald Trump that we definitely need to continue to keep the border under control.
Donald Trump already showed me that he understands our problems. He understands what the country needs. He has the heart to do it.
Days later, as part of campaign outreach to Black voters, President Biden was in Philadelphia, telling voters that Trump wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. He said he's the same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. And he said he's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin.
And I'll be damned if I can let Donald Trump turn America into a place filled with anger and resentment and hate. Folks, I'm still optimistic, but I need you. So my question for you is simple. Are you with me?
Now, when it comes to Latino voters, it's a lot closer. This past weekend, former President Trump said this from a rally in Las Vegas.
For those hotel workers and people that get tips, you're going to be very happy. Because when I get to office, we are going to not charge taxes on tips, people making tips.
The latest Fox News poll finds 45% of Hispanic voters are going for former President Trump in Arizona. That's just 8 points behind President Biden. In Florida, the president has just a 2-point edge among Hispanic voters. And in Nevada, Biden leads Trump among Hispanic voters by just 7 points.
For Joe Biden and the Democrats, it is too close for comfort.
Doug Schoen is the founder and partner of Schoen Cooperman Research.
Hispanics are particularly sensitive to the economic challenges we are facing in terms of prices and the cost of living. Many of them came from Latin America, where socialism or left-wing politics are have a negative connotation, and Trump and his style appeal to Latin Americans, and he has made an effort to reach out to them. So I think the finding that you're pointing to is one of the reasons why in Arizona and Nevada, in particular, the former president has a clear and widening lead.
Talk to me about black voters as well. The numbers seem to be shifting there. The Fox poll found his advantage among black voters is down to 40 points in Florida, and I think they said it was 80 points 4 years ago. So that's quite a leap. And then in Virginia,
absolutely.
In Virginia, I just want to share this with you too. I know you know it, but it says that Trump nearly triples his share among black voters, 9% in 2020 to 25% today. How does President Biden come back from this?
Well, I think he has to acknowledge first and foremost that there are severe and serious ongoing economic challenges facing his core constituents. And I think he needs to have a program for the future that speaks directly to people's concern about inflation and the cost of living and what's going to be better in a Biden second term. Because right now, those voters, to a much larger extent than ever before, think they have a better future under the Republicans than under the Democrats.
You just said something interesting about that the president needs to appeal to or explain like what the future holds, right? And we hear a lot from campaign officials and surrogates that the president needs to make his case about the past, about what he has done. Are you saying maybe that it's time to stop talking about what you've done and maybe move on to what you will do?
Jessica, that's exactly what I'm saying. That is, he has tried for the better part of the last couple of years to talk about his accomplishments. What we've seen in the polls is that is largely a failed strategy. People make their own judgment about the impact of inflation on their daily lives, and that judgment is a negative one for Joe Biden. So he has to acknowledge the problem and speak to the future in a way that gives people hope for a better future. And so far, to the best experience, he hasn't done that.
What is, given what you do and what you look at all day, what is more interesting to you? That the former president is only ahead of President Biden by 4 points in Florida, or that the two men are tied in Virginia in these Fox polls?
I would say most interesting to me of those two is Virginia. Virginia has been Democratic for some, I think, 20 or more years. Democrats have counted it as a reliably Democratic state. And of course, now it's a statistical tie. Florida, where we did a great deal of polling 4 years ago, was about a 3 or 4 point Trump lead, maybe a little bit less. And then on election day, Trump picked up an extra 2 or 3 points and won by 6 or 7. So I expect Trump will win Florida by 5 to 7 points. Virginia's in play. And if Joe Biden loses Virginia, as is, of course, possible, that would be a harbinger of ill for his candidacy.
How much of a harbinger is it that moderates and independents, as two separate groups in the Fox polls, they go for President Biden over former President Trump by 19 points in Florida, specifically in Florida? That seems rather significant. What is it about moderates and independents there?
It is, and I think that's a result of DeSantis having moved to the hard right, and particularly the 6-week abortion ban. I think that Trump will and certainly has to recognize that DeSantis did him no favors with DeSantis's presidential campaign, and Trump will need to distinguish himself from the 6-week ban and make it clear that he too understands people's day-to-day concerns about the economy, something DeSantis has been singularly unable to do. And there's in Florida also a property tax and insurance crisis. And I think that's helping the Democrats too.
Interesting. On the abortion front, we know that Democrats are planning to spend, tens of millions of dollars to highlight that, especially in swing states, but also in specific swing districts. I thought the results of the Fox poll were interesting because in Florida, Nevada, and Arizona, Trump is ahead by 4 or 5 points, and yet all 3 of these states have constitutional amendments to enshrine the right to an abortion on each state's ballot. What do you make of that?
Well, what I make of it is for the Democrats who have so far failed to have any economic message, that the abortion issue, which does appeal to moderates and swing voters, and of course women, is the only active theme they have that could well provide a way forward. And I fully expect the party and outside groups are going to double down and triple down on choice as an issue in those states.
These poll numbers indicate in these states, again, Nevada, Florida, and Arizona, so the swing states, a little over a third of voters, so 34 to 37%, said that Trump's recent criminal conviction matters somewhat or a great deal. And among those voters, more than 2/3 say they are going with Biden, except in Virginia, which is a separate story. But I think the math question is, does that translate into lost votes that could have gone to Trump or likely Trump's if he weren't convicted? In other words, does he look at this math and worry?
I think he worries because nobody wants to be convicted of a crime, especially in a campaign. But I think those people are ones that prior to the conviction were probably breaking heavily, maybe even as close as 2-1 for Biden. Everything I've seen in the polling I did both before and after the conviction suggests that the impact of the conviction on the ultimate overall numbers, statewide and nationally, has not been that significant, if at all.
Oh, okay. All right. Finally, then, we saw this in all of the states that were polled that President Biden's more trusted on, as you know, abortion, healthcare, climate change. But the former President Trump is more trusted on the economy, the border, and the Israel-Hamas war was the specific third item.
Yeah.
But Trump's numbers are bigger than Biden's here. How telling are these numbers for somebody like you?
Well, for me, the top 3 issues are the economy, overwhelmingly number 1, the southern border number 2, and war and peace, probably a distant third. But Trump has a lead on each one, as you suggest, and elections tend to be, yes, about personality, but and performance, but ultimately about key issues. And Trump has a lead on each issue, which even in a close race gives him a clear advantage. Elections tend to be referenda on the incumbent. And in this case, the overall performance of Joe Biden is negative, and his performance on the key issues facing the country is negative, which is why I give Donald Trump a narrow but clear advantage as we sit here in June of 2024.
Wow. Doug Schoen, thank you so much for your time and your insight.
Jessica,
Appreciate it.
always a pleasure. Happy to do it.
Thank you, sir. Be well.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com.
America's infrastructure is ancient and crumbling. Crooked politicians pocket the funds meant to keep you safe and to power your home. Where does that leave you? In the dark. Or you could keep the lights on with a Grid Doctor 300 solar power generator from MyPatriotSupply.com. My Patriot Supply has helped millions of American families prepare for emergencies, and power outages are emergencies. The Grid Doctor 300 lasts longer and runs stronger. Connect it to solar panels, your car, or a power block or wall to charge it. Not only does this generator charge quickly, but you can use it while it charges. Multiple power ports mean no device is left behind. Run phones, fans, CPAP machines, even mini refrigerators. It's easy to use. Unleash power for all, from kids to grandparents. Protect your family with reliable power. Get the Grid Doctor 300 and save $50, plus get free shipping at MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps in the afternoon.
Hey, it's Tuesday at 4:20. We'll speak with David Stokes from the Show Me Institute on reports that the Metrolink expansion is dead. And at 5:20, Dr. Randy Tobler on the Hunter Biden trial.
Tim Jones and Chris Arps. Weekdays at 4 on News Talk STL.
Caring for a loved one is stressful. It's an emotional time, and we want our loved ones to get the quality of care they deserve. But the cost of long-term care is expensive. In the St. Louis area, it could be $60,000, $70,000, or even over $100,000. Can your savings handle this added expense? Fortunately, News Talk STL listeners have an expert right here. Financial strategist Chris Cooper of Serenity Wealth Management shows families tax-efficient strategies to fund care needs. Whether planning in advance, have health concerns, or living in a care community today, solutions exist to fund the quality of care you deserve.
Hi, I'm Chris Cooper, and I'd love to send you a free copy of my new book. You'll learn about strategies to empower you and your family, protect your savings, and make sure your loved ones get the quality of care they deserve.
Visit SerenityLTC.com. That's SerenityLTC.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
Hey, Columbo here for the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Summertime in St. Louis means things like family gatherings, barbecues, and graduation parties, and Zero Res knows how important it is to have your home as clean and healthy as possible for your friends and family, so they're kicking off summer with an amazing offer. Book a cleaning in June and mention the Columbo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $50 off an air duct cleaning. Just mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
I was at the Trump rally Saturday night. He won't give one dime to any school districts that have any kind of vaccine mandate. It would be great to have polio and measles all come back.
I don't believe we went to that rally. Obviously, I'm catching your snark, and you are not a Trump supporter. You're not even a listener to this radio station, so thanks for calling, Lester. I mean, that's not your real name either.
Vic Porcelli, live and local, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL. St. Louis's #1 choice for conservative talk. This is News Talk STL. News, analysis, and opinion from the voices you know and trust. Mike Ferguson, Tim Jones, Dan Bongino, Tony Colombo, Vic Porcelli, Katie Fitzpatrick, Chris Arce, Ken Williams, Larry Connors, Gabe Pfeiffer, Joe Pags, Randy Tobler, Rob Carter, Ben Shapiro. #1 for the most live and local conservative talk. 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Still 100% George Soros free.
Yeah, just say,
Alexa, play news from Fox. In Fox News.
it's the latest when you need it on demand from Fox News and Amazon Alexa. Now, a look at what's happening from the Fox News Rundown.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. I'm Ted Lindner. This is the Fox News Rundown. Final preparations being made ahead of this week's G7 summit in Italy, which President Biden will attend.
The G20 is accused of being too big to make a difference. The UN Security Council beset by competing worldviews. So is the G7 the summit that really works? President Joe Biden must hope so. He'll be talking to like-minded leaders of wealthy democracies. A chance then to push plans to use frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine, an opportunity to find ways to secure the global food supply. And many leaders will want to talk about problems caused by illegal migration.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. And jury deliberations going to resume this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time in Hunter Biden's gun trial after they deliberated for about an hour on Monday. I'm Ted Lindner. This is the Fox News Rundown.
This is the Fox News Rundown.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1 and newstalkstl.com.
On the next
Larry Connors, USA.
Hunter Biden and his gun trial. We'll have the latest on that and more today. Make sure you're with us.
Larry Connors, USA. Now, weeknights 6 until 8 on News Talk STL.
Hey, Colombo here for the great team at All Solutions Pest Control. We've been using pest control services at our home for years, and the results we've had with All Solutions are second to none. So if you're experiencing a pest problem, or more importantly, want to prevent a problem, All Solutions Pest Control are the ones to call. Right now, you can take advantage of their incredible $67 introductory offer. Learn more and contact them now at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor. Congratulations to the awesome team at Connor Roofing for earning the 2024 National Best of the Best Award for customer satisfaction. Connor Roofing has now won back-to-back honors because they do outstanding work in all types of roofing, storm damage restoration, siding, gutters, both residential and commercial. We chose Connor Roofing without telling the owners, Rob and Kathy Connor. Their customer reviews are some of the best in the country. Please read them. Visit ConnorRoofing.com and request an estimate. Connor Roofing. You can count on Connor.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-797-0711. 800-797-0711. 800-797-0711. That's 800-797-0711.
The O'Reilly Update, brought to you by Seavers JCB. Visit them at their St. Peter's location.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, if you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles, listen up. CarShield is a low-cost monthly vehicle protection plan now available to you. This protection plan is at an all-time low price. Please call 800-925-7584 for a free quote. Drivers who activate today will also receive free roadside assistance and towing at no additional cost. That is 800-925-7584 right now. On this Tuesday, some observations about President Biden's interview in Normandy with ABC News anchor David Muir. Since I, your humble correspondent, have interviewed 6 presidents, my take might be worthy. Muir spoke as much or more than the president in the taped exposition. His questions were relevant, but he did not challenge Mr. Biden, who gave rehearsed answers. The president delivered his remarks with low energy and rarely deviated from his memorized script. When he did, he sounded foolish. He told Muir he had known Putin for 40 years. Evil Vlad is 71, has run Russia for 24 years. So how did Joe know him 16 years before that? As the dictator was essentially an unknown spy. Camping trip to Siberia? Seems to be a small point, but it's not, because the president of the United States is under scrutiny for his mental fitness. An important takeaway from the largely pedestrian interview is that the president will not admit a mistake. That's paramount if you're a narcissist. You never acknowledge doing anything wrong. Summing up, the art of interviewing is dying. The days of Mike Wallace and Tim Russert are over. President Biden and his handlers know that. he stays away from any unpredictable press situations. Finally, don't expect much from the June 27th debate. Both candidates will largely ignore the questions, saying what they want. Back after this. You can now watch new episodes of the No Spin News live on Samsung TV Plus. Tune in each weeknight at 8 p.m. on the First TV for breaking news, honest analysis, and the best election coverage in America. Please join me, Bill O'Reilly, at the First TV, now available on Samsung TV Plus. Start watching today on your Samsung television, Galaxy devices, or the Samsung TV Plus mobile app. Check out the No Spin News each weeknight at 8 p.m. on the First TV, Samsung TV Plus. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow, so let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight, a low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon, and by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
I heard the call to serve, so I answered. I earned a title and discovered my purpose. I found belonging, an unbreakable bond with my fellow Marines. We fought to overcome adversity together in defense of our nation and its people. I've lived a full life, rich with meaning. And even though I no longer wear the uniform, I am still a Marine. My service has come full circle. I will always look after those around me. I will always uplift and support my country and my community. Because that is the promise I made. That is what it means to be a Marine. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always Marine.
Thanks for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Radio news junkie.
Love every bit about it.
News Talk STL.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Having your first cup of coffee? Mike's on his third. This is Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
You want to talk about a place you can question the candidates who want to represent you, not just in the state legislature, but also in the Jefferson County government as well? Well, this is the place to be. Hey, good morning. Mike Ferguson here, and we are broadcasting from the Sugar Creek Golf Course in beautiful High Ridge. Come on out. We're going to do the whole show from here. Complimentary breakfast awaits you. Just show up. No reservations needed. And I'm telling you, we've got more candidates than you can shake a stick at. But don't shake a stick at them because the sheriff's going to be here too, and that might get you in trouble. Just saying. All right. Good morning. Once again, we're going to be out here all morning until 9 o'clock. So if you can stop by, I'd love to have you come out and say hi. A lot of these candidates are going to be on the program here throughout the morning. We're going to get their perspectives on what's going to make Jefferson County, the St. Louis region, and Missouri a better place. And you can question them yourselves if you come on out here to High Ridge in the Sugar Creek Golf Course. Once again, it's free. Just come on out. On Monday's program, interesting conversation with Samuel Green from the Reason for Life organization. It's a new pro-life group, and he's dug through the pro-abortion proposal to amend the Missouri's Constitution. And here's the thing. It's really, really bad. This is something that should pull on the conscience of even some people who are maybe moderate or not really set in stone on what they think about abortion itself. But anybody who's got a sense of ethics and decency should agree that this proposal and this change to the state constitution is just over the top. So we had him on and he gave us an update on what this is going to look like if it ends up being on the ballot and why we need to start talking to people on a heart-to-heart basis right now. Here's what he had to say. What we're doing is we're looking at this pro-abortion
proposed constitutional amendment. This is a referendum that, remember, the Missouri legislature did not raise the bar to change our state's constitution. So 50% plus one changes the state constitution. And Samuel, you've been digging through what's proposed. They're still counting the signatures to see if they're going to make it on the ballot. But we need to get it across real quick that if this comes onto the ballot, voters are going to be deciding something that is literally life and death and is literally a game changer for the state of Missouri. What are you finding in this proposal or in this proposed constitutional amendment that people need to be aware of? Because I think a lot of people are saying, yeah, I know, pro-life versus pro-choice, but it really is deeper than that.
Well, thanks for having me on. This truly is an extreme proposal to add abortion to the Missouri Constitution. You know, we're now about 2 years since the Supreme Court overturned the Roe versus Wade decision, which was a great win for the cause of life. But since then, we've seen the abortion lobby pushing these pro-abortion measures in certain states. And this one that they're pushing in Missouri is one of the most extreme that I've seen around the nation. This is a measure that would allow the killing of innocent children in the womb all the way up until the point of birth. It's quite extreme. It ties the hands of the legislature from being able to have many of the common sense regulations that were in place, even while we were operating under Roe versus Wade and Casey. So it's an extreme threat to life and common sense in Missouri.
Good morning, Samuel. Gabe Pfeiffer here. Now, the counter argument that would be made by all of the pro-choicers out there is like, oh, well, you know, you pro-lifers always talk about abortion up to the point of birth, and nobody does that. That almost never happens. So why are we talking about it?
Well, you got to figure if they are trying to make abortion till, throughout all of pregnancy, a constitutional right. Why are they doing that unless there are some people who may avail themselves of that? If that never happens, if there aren't these extreme late-term abortions, why are they trying to make late-term abortion a part of the Missouri Constitution? If you look at this proposed language to the Missouri Constitution, it specifically allows for abortion after fetal viability. And so that's after the child is sufficiently developed to survive outside the womb. And it allows for those abortions after fetal viability to protect the life or physical or mental health of the pregnant mother. And it specifies mental health. They are doing that so that they can just blow a hole right through this limitation that they've put at viability to try to confuse voters and allow abortion, again, after the point when the child could survive outside the womb. So we're talking about killing children who, if they were born on the day that they were killed, could continue to live outside the womb. But the abortion lobby wants to be able to kill them just because they say, oh, it's necessary for mental health. And it's not a psychiatrist who's making that determination. It's the abortion provider who's going to be paid thousands of dollars if they can go forward with killing the child.
Good morning, Samuel. Stalponticus here. Could you compare this here in Missouri with states like New York and California?
Well, so New York still doesn't have abortion in their state constitution. Sadly, statutorily, they are quite extreme. California did adopt by ballot measure a provision into their state constitution, and sadly, that measure is quite extreme as well. But it looks like with this measure, the abortion lobby in Missouri is trying to make Missouri another California and perhaps be even more extreme than New York in this industry of killing innocent children with fingers and toes who can hiccup, yawn, and experience the pain of having their arms and legs torn off while their heart is still beating. It's absolutely barbaric what they are pushing in Missouri.
This voice that you're hearing right now is Samuel Green from Reason for Life, and we'll get into what your organization does here in just a couple of minutes, Samuel. But I also want to point out this is a constitutional amendment that's proposed. This isn't a statute. So if this were to be approved by voters, that our lawmakers would have little to no ability to try to do any regulations to curtail it. So we are literally taking a state that is among, if not the most pro-life when it comes to our laws, to what you're describing as being one of the most extreme pro-abortion states in the country. That is a massive, massive swing. And we know that the left is not going to want to talk about it in those terms. So what do we need to be aware of when it comes to countering the incomplete or the dishonest messaging that we're likely to hear?
Yeah, there is so much here to unpack, but as you mentioned, one of the things here is this is the state constitution. So you will no longer be able to look to the state legislators you elect and to your governor to really enact any common sense provisions, including the types of provisions that were existing in Missouri while Roe versus Wade and the Casey decision were in place. This takes things to a new extreme and ties the legislature's hands even further and makes it very, very difficult to do anything that many of us would consider just common sense. And again, what we saw in many states, including Missouri, even while they were operating under the confines of Roe versus Wade. So any type of measure is going to face serious scrutiny. This is a gift to the abortion lobby. It provides a lot of new language that their lawyers are going to use to go into court and argue to wipe out all of the pro-life laws in Missouri that existed under Roe and Casey and to allow for abortion up until the moment of birth.
Samuel, is there any impetus? Is there any possibility of amending the Constitution in the other direction after this? Like, let's assume we end up in an Ohio situation and it goes through. Is anybody trying to work to get a referendum to repeal in any of these things or in other states? And is it even a feasible a plan?
Well, I'm not a political operative, and so I don't know that I have a great answer to that. But I will say amending the state constitution is a very expensive and lengthy process. And so, if this measure did go through, I would hope that it could be changed. But that's quite an uphill battle. And even if it were to be changed, we got to realize that during the intervening time, this would be part of the Missouri Constitution, and we would have this type of extreme killing up until the moment of birth, a constitutional right under the state constitution in Missouri. So we need to work now to talk to our friends and neighbors about the beautiful complexity and value of life in the womb and just how evil and barbaric this measure is, so that we never end up in that position of needing to fight against this being on the books as part of the Missouri Constitution.
See, here's the thing is the reality, and I know that a lot of times in conservative media, we don't like to talk like this, but the reality is that there is going to have to be a certain percentage of people who consider themselves to be pro-choice, the people who say, well, I don't like abortion, but maybe the government should get out of it. Those types of people, you're going to have to convince a number of people. We're going to have to convince a number of those people to vote against this, just like you said, Samuel, because of the barbarism of this particular proposed amendment. So we've got to get them past the initial platitude on that. So tell me about Reason for Life and what you do there in the last minute or so that we've got, Samuel. A lot of pro-life organizations out there that do a lot of great work. What is it that yours does?
Yeah, I'm so thankful. Many organizations working to defend life. Reason for Life is focused largely on pro-life education in the churches because sadly, right now, people you go to church with might vote for this abortion ballot measure if you don't talk to them about it, because many pastors have been silent. And so people in church are being influenced by culture on the abortion issue, and they don't see the truth from the Bible about how God values children in the womb, how they're precious in his sight. And they don't even know the science that people in and out of church should appreciate about the fact that at the moment of conception, a new human life comes into existence. That child's DNA is established right there when the human egg is fertilized, determining the child's hair color, eye color, sex, bone structure, and so much more. Often the child's heart is beating before the mother even knows she's pregnant, and this child develops at a rapid rate. And so we are encouraging pastors to preach the truth on this. We have a free sample sermon for pastors in Missouri at reasonforlife.org reasonforlife.org/MO sermon. So reasonforlife.org/MO sermon. And we encourage people to go talk to their pastors, ask them to preach about God's heart of love for these children whose lives hang in the balance in Missouri.
All right, Samuel Green, Reason for Life. Thank you for the update. And I've been arguing we've got to get out ahead of this. I mean, maybe there'll be something miraculous happens and they won't have enough valid signatures to get it on the ballot, but I don't think that's the case. I think they do have enough signatures. So we need to be out there right now, with the message to kind of preempt the dishonesty we're going to hear from the other side. So I appreciate you giving us that update, Samuel.
Thanks for having me on.
We've got that first morning news dump of the day coming your way here in about 2 minutes and 37 seconds right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL, broadcasting from the Sugar Creek Golf Course right here in High Ridge, Missouri.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. If you find yourself feeling out of place in the world, it's comforting to know conservative values haven't been abandoned everywhere.
Thanks for being my voice in all this.
This is News Talk STL.
There are people out there that feel the way that I feel and say what I say.
Welcome home. Hit the links in style this season with News Talk STL's brand new golf polo and hat collection. Available exclusively at Sugar Creek Golf Course, located off Highway 30 in High Ridge. Our lightweight, moisture-wicking polos feature the News Talk STL logo, keeping you looking sharp and feeling comfortable all 18 holes. And don't forget the matching News Talk STL hats to keep the sun out of your eyes while you line up that winning putt. Get your News Talk STL gear today at Sugar Creek Golf Course off Highway 30 in High Ridge.
Dreaming of upgrading your outdoor space? STL FenceWorks is the choice for you. Our skilled craftsmen build custom fences from modern vinyl to classic ornamental, fitting your style and budget. Elevate your outdoor living with low-maintenance decks designed to relax and entertain. We choose only top-quality American-made materials, ensuring your project is built to last. Your satisfaction is our passion. With over 50 years of experience, custom designs, and exceptional customer service, visit stlfenceworks.com today.
Hey, I'd like you to get to know Dr. Daniel Cusimano and Dr. Megan Dwyer. Those are dentists and my dental team, along with their dental team at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Whether it's economic value with their dental savings plan and their real concern about giving you value, which is, of course, quality at a great price, or whether it's their personal values, their dedication to absolute precision. I can tell you when I go in and get my treatment there or just a cleaning, whatever, it's always, I get this feeling it's like laser guided precision. Well, yeah, they have lasers, but they don't do that for everything. Of course, it's the right tool for the right job. Whether it is dental implants, whether it's just general dentistry, cosmetic dentistry, and by the way, he can use some Botox in all the right ways for those applications as well. You'll find the greatest of care, the greatest value delivered with people who have real values, the values we share at Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles. Get to know them by calling 636-978-0226, 636-978-0226, or advanceddentistrynow.com. That's Advanced Dentistry of St. Charles.
If you have a phone, you have a radio. Download the News Talk STL app.
Just a convenience on the phone.
And listen anytime, anywhere.
Hi, it's Dan Bongino here, and I'm proud to be on News Talk STL every weekday from 11 to 2. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Morning News Dump.
Are you joking? Is this a joke?
Listen, folks. The Morning News Dump.
All right, do the crime, do the time, get hired at taxpayers' expense. That is the St. Louis way, Gabe.
Yeah.
Oh.
That seems to be the way.
I'll tell you about that.
What is happening right now?
Oh, and imagine this. The people said, cool your jets, and a government board listened.
Really?
Yeah. I'll explain here in a
right.
second. And after a short breather, the Cardinals will be back out on the field tonight trying to break out of a pack of mediocre teams. Hooray.
Let's measure our expectations.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Level adjust. Yeah.
All right, 5:50 right now. I'm Mike Ferguson. Got Gabe Pfeiffer here. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, still at home base in the studio here. Here's what's happening. A memo from Border Patrol officials, according to Fox News, instructs agents in the San Diego area to release single adults who are in the country illegally and are from one of the majority of nations in the Eastern Hemisphere. Senator Eric Schmidt was on the Ingram Angle on Fox News last night to talk about that.
Only 6 countries are noted in the Eastern Hemisphere. That means if you're from China, if you're a spy from China, you can get here for $5,000 to $10,000, and you'll be in the interior of the United States through catch and release. If you're a terrorist from Iran, same deal.
And the CBP says that that's just for San Diego, though. Don't make a big deal out of about it. It doesn't apply to the rest of the border. Just that really busy one where I've been to that border. I've seen that border.
That one's crazy.
It's crazy. I literally was in San Diego, I don't know, a year ago or so, and I was doing a tour of the Padres baseball stadium, and we were walking on the circular walkway, and the guy goes, "Hey, look over there. That's Tijuana." I said, "That's it?" He goes, "Yeah, you can walk back and forth."
Oh my gosh.
That's how busy that is out there.
That's crazy. Oh, it seems deliberate at this point. It's deliberate. They're trying to destroy stuff, though.
Without any question. All right, there may not be a quick decision on the closing libraries issue in St. Charles County after all. Now, because of the backlash from hundreds of residents, the library board says it is delaying the decision. Now, that vote was supposed to happen next week.
Okay.
They sprung this on everybody like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
there was a bit of a backlash because of the timing there.
The community said, "Excuse me."
You say what now?
Not so fast.
Yeah, don't do that.
So the current proposal, as you may know, is to close the Maclay, Kisker, and Deer Run branches this year. The delay is to allow more feedback from the public and look at possible alternatives if the budget allows those. As of right now, they have not set a date for a vote. But here's the thing, Gabe, is their fiscal year is about to start. So they are going to have to do the budget as though they're going to remain open and then amend the budget, which is a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it complicates things, but you got it. They already started this whole process too late, to really get the right amount of feedback that they needed.
Right, exactly.
So take it.
All right, over the weekend, as we know, we talked about this yesterday, Israel carried out a raid to rescue 4 hostages held by Hamas, but several hundred Palestinians killed in that operation as well. Republican Senator Ron Johnson out of Wisconsin was on the Faulkner Focus yesterday, reminding everybody that when it comes to the rescue, that Hamas is the one who placed civilians in harm's way, not Israel.
It was Hamas that broke the ceasefire by brutally slaughtering 1,200 Israeli civilians. It is Hamas that took the hostages. It is Hamas that hides its weaponry, hides themselves amongst civilians, and now they hide the hostages as well. And listen, I'm sure there are innocent civilians, but they're probably complicit civilians as well.
The United Nations has given first-round approval to a ceasefire, which does not impose anything on Israel. This is under a lot of pressure under the United States. So the Biden administration is saying, look at this, we're driving this ceasefire resolution. Israel has reluctantly agreed to at least parts of it. Hamas hasn't said a darn thing.
Oh, of course not. They're still digging out their dead.
Pretty much.
So there.
Exactly. All right. Will he or won't he? Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is so far, at least as of last night, declining to testify about his prosecution of Donald Trump to U.S. House lawmakers next week. Bernie Bennett has the story for us.
In a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio, Bragg's general counsel, Leslie Dubeck, said that the district attorney has scheduling conflicts that will keep him from appearing before Congress. However, Dubeck indicated that Bragg may be open to cooperating with the committee in the future. House Republicans invited Bragg to Congress on June 13th to answer questions about his prosecution of President Trump, who was convicted on all 34 counts of falsifying business records brought by the district attorney. In the letter, Dubeck criticized the Judiciary Committee's invitation for Bragg to testify, writing that Jordan, quote, has not made clear the scope of the proposed testimony. Stephanie Farrell, a spokesperson for Chairman Jordan, said, quote, everything is on the table as to what comes next. Bernie Bennett reporting.
And of course, the court is also looking at the situation of a Facebook post that somebody made claiming that they had contact with a juror, somebody claiming to be basically a cousin of them, and that they were given early information as to the convictions and the verdicts. We had a conversation with redstate.com, Susie Moore, about that on yesterday's program. Go to newstalkstl.com or subscribe to our podcast. You can hear that discussion because we kind of tempered what the reality is versus what could be. And it may be a big deal, but it may also be much ado about nothing. I know, Gabe, I want you to brace yourself. It's early in the morning, but sometimes people lie on the internet.
On the internet, you say that? It's like, I think I might have heard that from Abraham Lincoln. I think he had a post about it recently. But yeah, Susie made it clear that it could easily be a troll, which actually could that troll could be in trouble for having done something like that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a whole other story.
Yeah, so check that out. And if you haven't subscribed to our newscast already, please go ahead and do so as well. We've had a lot of really good conversations that you need to be sending out to your friends and your family. They need to hear these as well.
Let them know.
All right, it is 5:55 right now. Mike Ferguson here, got Gabe Pfeiffer. We're at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. Come on out and say hi, by the way. The breakfast buffet is getting set up, and we're going to an information segment here in about a minute. You know where I'm going?
The buffet.
The buffet here in just a minute. That's right. No reservations needed. It is completely complimentary, and there's plenty of room to sit down here and just hang out while we're doing the show. All right, the Cardinals start a series with the Pirates tonight at home. At last check, Miles Michaelis is going to be on the mound to start the game for the Redbirds. It's funny in this division because the Brewers are in first place, and then everybody else is basically tied for second base.
Jeez. So it's a really tight race for mediocre first.
Yes, we are second place in a mediocre division, but this is a division series, so this actually could be a breakout one for the Cardinals as they kind of inch closer towards the All-Star break. We're going to start getting to that here. People talking about that in about 2 or 3 weeks.
They've certainly improved their play since from the beginning of the season.
Right. Yeah, they really have. All right. Day 2 of the Cardinals annual blood drive is today. Among the locations are the Salvation Army Gateway Citadel Corps on Union Road in the city, the James Egan Center in Florissant, the American Legion Post 365 in Collinsville. There's actually 6 or 7 of them, but those are 3 of the bigger ones. The drives run from noon until 6 o'clock, and you can find the complete list of locations at the Cardinals website. That includes another one, let's see here, Columbia, Illinois, Crystal City, Imperial as well. So there are several locations. And while supplies last, they've got one of those, collectible T-shirts that they're handing out as well. All right, we are at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. Like I just said, Gabe and I, our Stell is holding down the fort in Maryland Heights. Just ahead, we're going to be talking to a number of candidates, especially some of those running for state legislature. Doesn't matter if you live in Jeffco or not, they're going to have an impact on your life if they get elected. So let's hear what they want to do with it right here.
For Capriotti's Sandwich Shop, Capriotti's is famous for setting themselves apart due to their dedication to superior quality and ingredients like slow roasted, hand-pulled whole turkey and American Wagyu straight from Snake River Farms. That dedication to superior quality is evident from the very first bite into a Capriotti sandwich. Visit Capriotti's Sandwich Shop 7 days a week at the corner of Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill and get more info, including how to impress at your next event with their great catering at capriottis.com.
Seavers JCB is where you need to go for the industry's best compact track loaders, featuring the iconic single-arm JCB power boom and side door entry. JCB compact track loaders are stronger and safer than conventional twin-arm machines, and they deliver the power and performance you need. For a limited time, get financing rates as low as 0.99% on new JCB compact track loaders, or take a generous cash incentive. Stop into your local Seavers JCB or visit seaversjcb.com.
Old man winter in the rearview mirror. Warmer weather here. Time to call Hanson's Tree Service. 636-379-1830. 24/7 at hansonstree.com. This is the perfect time to spruce up and beautify your landscape beds. When you purchase organic mulch and bulk from Hanson's, you save on price, time, and incredibly convenient. Tons of commercial and residential tree care services as well. Grinding and land clearing, plant health care, and more. 636-379-1830. hansonstree.com. hansonstree.com.
Tony Colombo here for Cadre Asset Management. A cadre is defined as a small group of people specially trained for a particular purpose or profession, and that is the role that Cadre Asset Management can play in your financial journey. Learn more about how they can help secure your financial future by following Cadre Asset Management on Facebook, or just go to cadreassetmgm.com.
cadremt.com.
Cadre Asset Management is a Missouri-based independent advisory firm licensed under and Securities and Investment Advisory Services offered through Founders Financial Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC.
KLGY HD3 Clay, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Jurors will resume deliberations this morning in the criminal case against President Biden's son. Jury members are weighing whether Hunter Biden is guilty of 3 felonies stemming from a 2018 gun purchase, when prosecutors say the younger Biden was in the throes of a crack cocaine addiction. In a pre-recorded message to the people attending an event hosted by the Danbury Institute, former President Donald Trump, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, says everyone needs to pull together to preserve their values and freedoms.
You just can't vote Democrat. They're against religion. They're against your religion in particular. You cannot vote for Democrats, and you have to get out and vote.
The Danbury Institute promotes Judeo-Christian values and wants abortion to be, quote, eradicated entirely. The UN Security Council has approved its first resolution endorsing a ceasefire plan aimed at ending the 8-month Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. The resolution welcomes a proposal announced by President Biden that the U.S. says Israel has accepted. There's no lack of reaction to a 4-day election that's shaken the European Parliament to its foundations. Analyst Matteo Via with the Italian Institute for International Political Studies says Italy's EU election was interesting.
Especially it was a strengthening of support for the 2 biggest parties, which are, the Women Party of President of Italy, Meloni's, and the opposition party of the Democratic Party. So the 2 ones get out stronger. It also is a result in favor of stability of the political system, which is quite surprising for Italy.
Pro-European parties remain the biggest in the 27-nation bloc's assembly. On Wall Street, Dow futures are off 139 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text trade to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text trade to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text trade to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text trade to 766.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight, a low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon, and by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL is brought to you by Stifel, serving investors for over 130 years. Contact your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Greece is cheap,
but the airfare costs a fortune.
Paris?
Not much closer, and again, airfare...
What about Puerto Vallarta?
Let's face it, flying anywhere is just too expensive.
Wait, what's this? Low-cost airlines.
With one call to low-cost airlines, you'll drastically slash your travel costs. We're talking insanely low airline prices to any of your favorite destinations. Where would you like to go? London, Rome, Costa Rica, Australia?
Wow, that's cheap.
So why wait? Call now to learn how crazy cheap it is to fly anywhere in the U.S. or international. Our prices are so low, we can't publish them. The only way to get them is to call to instantly hear the most amazing best deals on airline travel. It's that easy. So call now and start packing.
800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. 800-515-2397. That's 800-515-2397.
Hey, St. Louis, don't miss this historic debate showdown between Biden and Trump.
This is going to be huge.
Join News Talk STL's Debate Watch Party June 27th at Johnny's Hideout.
Love Johnny's.
Brought to you by the Freedom Principle, St. Louis Young Republicans, and Agers Heating and Air Conditioning. Mike Ferguson.
It's a miracle we're not in prison.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
Are you kidding me?
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! Get up! This is your cousin Bob.
You know, there's a lot of debate, Gabe, over having a good, transparent government.
Yes.
And understanding you're accountable to taxpayers, understanding that you want to set the tone for what happens in your community. And then there's the city of St. Louis.
It's a whole different story, the city of St. Louis. Yeah.
I had to do a double take on this one here. Do the crime, do the time, get a job offer from the city of St. Louis.
Man.
Why? Because you deserve it. That's according to some of the activists and some of the people in the city.
And you have street cred.
Yes, you're going to love the context of this one. All right, it is 6:06 right now. I'm Mike Ferguson. We've got Gabe Pfeiffer here at in High Ridge at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. Of course, joined by Joey V is making it all happen. Stel Ponticus in our home base. Managing the fort in Maryland Heights. By the way, come on out. I just got my my plate of breakfast here. They've got some really delicious food. It is complimentary. Just come on out, say hi.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of tables to sit and have coffee and eat and chat with us. We are doing the show here at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. Going to be a lot of people running for office going to be on the show with us throughout the morning, starting in about 10 minutes or so. Okay, so I found this on Channel 4's website. Oh, this is golden, man. If this isn't St. Louis, I just don't know what is.
Quintessentially so.
It is. Okay, so there's a guy named Breton Delaria.
Okay.
I never heard of him.
All right.
He just got hired to basically be public relations, a public information officer for the city of St. Louis's Office of Violence Prevention.
Okay.
Which is part of the Department of Public Safety.
All right.
In the city. So basically, he's part of the
kind of like
city government that deals with crime.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Right.
So that's the crime prevention and all
Right.
this, the public safety.
Well, it's good that they hired him because he needed something to do after getting out of prison.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is he, and this is recent too.
Okay.
He was employed by SLU to run a program which basically helps high school students get an early start on college credit. Great program.
Oh, yeah, that sounds cool.
When I was in high school, I did that.
Yeah,
I
did something like that.
I got some of my credit in high school.
Yeah.
And he pled guilty to embezzling over $500,000 from SLU.
Gosh.
Used the money for his Benton Park home, built a nice swimming pool. I hear it was very nice.
Oh, well, yeah.
At his home.
Absolutely. Oh, his budget there.
Yeah. So in addition to doing almost 2 years in prison, he had to give up his house, had to give up his swimming pool.
Sure.
That he paid for with the money that he embezzled from SLU. So let's see here. He pled guilty. He was released last September from prison.
Okay.
So literally he's been out of prison less than a year.
Less than a year.
He's been hired as a public information officer in their crime prevention unit.
That's amazing. It's amazing. It's like you couldn't write it. It's like, yeah, I embezzled funds and let me start at this bank.
Exactly. And here's the thing. The funny part is that the Channel 4 story has quotes from people who are saying, hey, listen, everybody deserves a second chance. I'm like, okay, that's where you start by like literally driving the thing that picks up the thing and provides.
Yeah.
We're not talking about, executive $60,000 salaries on this.
I don't think he should be prevented from being an Uber driver.
No,
but I don't think he should be put in charge of a government program, especially one in a system that he was just, sent through.
Oh,
come
my
on.
goodness.
What is that? What's that all about?
Okay, so Channel 4, to their credit, did ask a lot of questions. So Channel 4, their investigative team, asked a city official if he has access to taxpayer funds since he has a history of, embezzling $500,000 from others. The city says no, he doesn't, but he denied a request for any sort of on-the-record interview. So he's still on probation.
Oh, jeez.
And he can't hold a job that handles money. He's going to be paid $60,000 by the taxpayers working for the city.
Wow.
And so here's the really kind of the weird part about all of this is, let me find that quote again. It was the quote that says, oh, here it is. So a guy named Benjamin Singer, who is with an activist group called Show Me Integrity, was asked about this. He says, everybody deserves a second chance. Now, listen, I think the
second chances are a thing.
Deserves is maybe a strong word.
That's strong.
But I think we should be in a society that gives second chances.
Yes.
I am 100% in favor of that.
Right in my Christian ethic wheelhouse.
Correct.
So I'm fine with that.
So here's the thing: this is the quote. This is the money quote.
Okay.
And I'm just going to read it straight from Channel 4's website. And this is Benjamin Singer saying, "It makes sense that someone with a criminal record who's in the process of getting back on their feet," which, by the way, is easier to do with $60,000 a year.
I was going to say. Yeah.
So it makes sense that somebody with a criminal record who's in the process of getting back on their feet and being an upstanding member of society would be part of a group of people who have that street cred. So apparently you have to be a criminal who's done time in prison to have street cred,
right,
to set the example for the young people.
Is
that how that works?
Well, apparently it is, because I mean, I'm not cool enough to have any street cred.
No
I've
street
never
cred.
been to prison, so I guess I can't speak on those issues.
Well, why would anybody listen to somebody like you, Mr. MIT graduate, who literally is a scientist, because you don't have street cred? What you should have done was committed a crime, and then you'd be celebrated by some people for turning things around.
It's entirely possible I could have had a free ride. I wouldn't have had any student loans coming out if I had gotten the same type of treatment here. I don't get it. Look, I'm all for the second chances and all that. You come out of prison, you shouldn't be prevented from making a freaking living. I think people, who have gone through the system, paid their debt to society, have had, sometimes a tough time doing that. And recidivism is kind of
absolutely
comes out of that. I think that, reforms in that regard should be made. But you don't put people coming out of prison in charge of government offices. Or, well, at least in Chicago, they do it the other way. They have them in charge first, and then they send them to prison.
Correct.
So, I mean,
I actually really appreciate that about the tradition in Illinois, and that tradition is imprisoning their governors.
Yes, that's true.
I like that tradition.
Yeah.
But here's the other part. Does this really say as much about this Delaria guy as much as it says something about the culture of the city of St. Louis and City Hall and the corruption that stands as an example of every other government entity to not be like that?
It's absolutely indicative of what's wrong with city government, because they don't think of these things as a problem. That's the thing that really gets me is when I imagine the reporter, whoever was asking the questions, they came over and they said, are you sure that's kind of I can almost see the very tepid sort of probing questions like, is this guy in charge of money and stuff? you know what I mean? And of course, the person on the other side from the government, they're not thinking that's a big deal.
Because that's the culture. And again, here's the thing. I love the idea of second chances.
Absolutely.
You earn your way up and you value it so
Yes.
much more. Somebody who's worked their way back, I've got all kinds of respect.
Oh, yeah.
For people to do. I know people in my life close to me who have really done that. A guy like this and a news story like this cheapens what they do, because this was clearly about connections, and this was clearly about do a little bit of time, we'll take care of you when you get out. And the people who are doing the right thing, what this is really kind of a slap in their face.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because he started out at a pretty highfalutin job anyway, where you could be in the position to embezzle $500,000, right?
Yeah.
So then he comes out of prison and goes right into, here's another job at a high level, right?
Right, exactly. All right, so check out Channel 4's website for that.
That's
all right,
crazy.
It is 6:14 here, just ahead. Let's start talking to some of the people who want your vote.
Mhm.
And listen, even if you do not live in Jefferson County, because these state legislative candidates are obviously here in the area in High Ridge where we are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. what they want to be a part of affects your life. So this is part of the makeup of the legislature. So we're going to start off hearing from them here in just a couple of minutes right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Come on out and say hi. No reservations needed. Just kind of walk up, hi, grab a cup of coffee, get some breakfast, and hang out with us here at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge.
For podcast articles and more, find us on newstalkstl.com.
I've had enough of this. Turn my eyes to your indifference.
Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Oh, hey. Get up. Can't you hear the alarm? Get up. This is your cousin. Get up. What are you waiting for? Get up. Get up.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
1949, the last time a Republican held the top post in St. Louis City. A gallon of milk was 84 cents, and streetcars ran down Grand Avenue. The city was booming. Unfortunately, St. Louis city streets are no longer the epicenter of family and business life. In the 80 years of Democrat control, our city has been on a steady decline. St. Louis City Republicans believe it is our duty to provide a different path forward. Learn more at stlouisrepublicans.com.
Paid for by St. Louis City Republican Pat Curtis, Farber Treasurer.
In the fast-paced world of digital marketing, making connections is a challenge for any business. But what if we told you there is a place where connections aren't just made, they're grown? Meet 2060 Digital, your premier Google partner and top-tier digital agency. We don't just follow trends, we set them. At 2060 Digital, we're not just another agency, we're your strategic partner. We dive deep into your challenges and develop solutions that drive measurable outcomes. Ready to elevate your digital presence with campaigns that connect? Google 2060 Digital today.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Speaker Tim Jones here. Make sure you listen to the Tim Jones and Chris Harp Show every day from 4 to 6 p.m. But right now, let's get back to our early morning media mogul, Mike Ferguson, in the morning.
Tim's going to be stopping by here in just a little bit as well. Now, whether you live here in Jefferson County, where we are broadcasting from this morning, or not, these are the people who want to be part of the decisions that affect your life, and we're going to meet those candidates starting right now. I'm Mike Ferguson, got Gabe Pfeiffer here. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. Come on out and say hi. Doors are open. We got plenty of room. We'll even give you breakfast here. The folks at the Sugar Creek Golf Course have set up a complimentary breakfast. Joey V running things here, making it happen as well. Don't forget News Talk STL. We've got the Saving America event coming June 25th. We're partnering with the Heritage Foundation, and that is a free event. We're going to be at the Funny Bone in St. Charles, but you got to get your tickets. So go to newstalkstl.com, and I say it every time, and it's funny, Gabe, because there's always somebody who goes, oh, I didn't realize you had to do that. Well, yeah, we're full.
Yeah.
So get your tickets reserved.
We need to do that head count.
Yeah. Again, it's free. We're not going to charge you for the tickets, but we just go ahead and reserve them so you can come on out and talk that. All right, let's get started. Joined now by Cecily Williams. She's running for state representative in the 111th district. And Cecily, let me kind of set the tone here. Whoever wins this primary is the next state representative.
That's right.
Yeah, because the Democrats, did not field a candidate in
That's
this
right.
race. So you're basically comparing yourselves to other Republicans in the race. So in the few minutes we've got here, Cecily, we talk about, not just Jefferson, but you got the region of St. Louis as well. And so much of the momentum is coming kind of out of the county and out of the city into Jeffco. When you look at what needs to happen in Jeff City, what are some of the priorities that you say this needs to be a list on the GOP caucus, on the legislature, because this is what affects Jefferson County? What made you want to get in this race?
So I wanted to become involved in Jefferson County politics and on a state level with politics, because I know that there are things that we can do better. I think one of the most concerning things is I feel that, we need to do a better job at protecting women and children when it comes to our parental bill of rights. The way that we allow certain things in our education system, which is how we influence future generations to come, being able to have more control on that as parents, what's in our classrooms, as far as the curriculum, as far as, what books they may be reading, what's available to them. Trying to keep a lot of the politics out of the classrooms, because we need to get back to the fundamentals of education, and that is, to grow children so that they can become leaders, within our community.
That's a good way to put it, by the way, keeping the politics out of it, because when we talk about indoctrination on the right, that's what we're talking about, is ideology and politics being jammed on them through the education system.
I mean, the public education system is the largest monopoly our government has on us, and they're influencing children every single day, whether it be, through the power of their curriculum. We all have seen it, where they may be, not where they may be, but where they're teaching our children things that we don't even really discuss at the kitchen table anymore. We have 7 children. All of our children are attend the Northwest School District. 5 of them have graduated high school. We have 2 that are left. While we cherish and enjoy our Northwest School District, I love, our teachers and our community. I know that even at Northwest, we can be doing a better job, and we should be doing a better job. So that's one of the most important things, is protecting our children. I feel like even as state leaders, we have state leaders that are just doing a really terrible job and voting on things that they really, really shouldn't be voting, and leaving it, then it's affecting our children.
Cecily, was there a particular incident or event or something that kind of spurred you into politics? What kind of drove you into the race?
Well, I think that, so I ran 2 years ago when the seat was open, when Shane Roden termed out. It was a 4-way race. I, at that point, decided to run because I was a little concerned, at who, the names that were on the ballot. I felt like, I know of the people who, had run before, that were running along with me. I unfortunately lost that, and we have our current state rep who could do a better job voting on issues that, have affected us. I mean, Jefferson County is a conservative county we're a red county at this point, and we need to be voting as though we are. And I feel like the most important thing is voting as your constituents who elected you would have wanted you to vote, not for, your own personal belief. It doesn't matter how I necessarily believe. I know that I am also a constituent within my district, but I also have very strong family values, and I know that that has to be at the forefront when we're at the Capitol making these decisions that affect our families and small businesses and our small government back home in Jefferson County.
Well, I mean, Jeffco was a blue county not that long ago, but it still wasn't a leftist county. I mean, it was a fairly conservative, county with, what they'd call a Truman Democrat or a Blue Dog Democrat. I mean, so it's never been a liberal one. All right. Do you have social media, website presence, anything like that? Where can people find you?
So people can find me at citizensforcecilyWilliams.com. of a website, and then Cecily Williams for State Representative District 111 on Facebook also.
Okay.
Both of them linked to each other. So
Great. Cecily, thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you
so much.
Okay, now joined by Brad Basler. You're running for the county council here in the 6th District here in Jefferson County.
Yes, that's correct.
Appreciate you being on the show. Now, the first question that's going to come out is going to be, okay, people are wanting to leave the city. They're wanting to leave St. Louis County. St. Louis County is losing population, literally. And so what's the right way for the county government to either prepare for that, encourage it, discourage it? I mean, that's the big issue here.
Well, change is happening whether we are ready for it or not. And then the best position is to be ready for it with a thoughtful, longer-term growth plan. A good plan, but a flexible plan, because plans do change. My thinking generally is a thoughtful growth plan where you sit down, involve citizens, focus group, talk to folks, talk to business leaders, what have you. What is the best way to approach what's going to happen? Interstate 55 is being expanded south of Festus on the east side of the county, and that is going to bring a lot more change. Developments have been coming with housing and whatnot, but we need to have a good platform. We need to have good infrastructure to attract and retain businesses. I would like very much for people in Jefferson County to have not only the opportunity to live in Jefferson County, a good, safe, solid area, but also to work there if they so choose. And for many, many years, many of the citizens in the county have found it necessary to leave the county to find work. But the tide is changing. We need to prepare for it in an intelligent fashion.
Brad, I know, or I imagine that the citizens in Jefferson County have a similar worry as anybody who's kind of the target of in-migration. Is they're worried about the character of their area changing because of the people coming in. What do you say to those people who have those types of concerns?
Well, the thing there is, I think it's important to involve those citizens, and like I say, a thoughtful plan or measured plan to growth, and explain to them and show them what's going on. You have to listen to people, what they're concerned about, and you have to should work those concerns in to the best of your ability to the plan for growth. Because like I say, it is coming, and it's a natural event. It's not like it was 20 years ago or 40 years ago or 50 years ago. It's going to be an interesting future. Jefferson County has a tremendous amount of potential, and we need to maximize that potential in the most intelligent fashion possible. It's what's best for the people of this community.
Yeah, you can plan for it, or you can get run over by it.
Sure.
You know, the market's going to do it one way or the other.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah,
Mike, it's going to happen, and why not embrace it, share it, get the people involved, and do it the best way possible. It's not an easy approach, not easy to do, but if it were easy, hey, we already have it.
Right.
So it needs to be done, and it's going to happen. But the infrastructure is important. There are things that are happening, a lot of plans going on. Somewhere along the line, we're going to need an airport.
Okay.
And something that is a regional airport.
Like Chesterfield?
Yeah, Chesterfield, yeah.
More in the order, upscale, like an A-list airport, vertical takeoffs. I mean, there's so much technology coming down the road. It's very, very important. A reliever airport for, for Lambert, should that ever come to pass.
Okay.
Ports, highways are coming. And another one I always curious about is Highway 21 extension further south toward DeSoto. That's District 6. I always felt that DeSoto and Hillsboro's there, but I always felt DeSoto was a little shortchanged on that.
Got it. All right. Brad Basler, the website, social media, people want to follow up what you're doing. That's pretty detailed stuff.
Yeah.
Website?
Brad Basler, .gov.
You let me say your last name wrong this whole time.
Bosler. Yes, that's all right. Hey, it's an old St. Jen name. Bosler, Basler, as long as they're smiling and we're having good communication, it's all good.
There you go.
I don't worry too much about it,
I can pronounce Brad. Brad,
Brad is easy. Yeah, as long as people are smiling, I'm good,
All right.
That's fun.
Brad. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. All right.
Thank
And of course, none of this happens without handling the money here. Paula Wagner running for treasurer, Jefferson County. Hey, Paula, go ahead and move your mic up just a little bit. There we go. Yep. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by here. All right. So this is one of those offices where people don't get into knockdown, drag out things because you're talking about all of the headline issues, but this is the stuff that makes everything else happen. Tell me a little bit about why you want to handle money and, what is it that could be better or what's going right when it comes to the treasurer's office?
So currently I am the county treasurer and I've been in the office for 7.5 years.
Okay.
I've been with the county since '99, working in the finance offices. I worked as the accounts payable clerk, and then I worked in the auditor's office. And when a job came open in the treasurer's office, I decided to apply for a job there. And when my predecessor decided to retire, I decided to run. So therefore, I've actually won the office 7.5 years ago. I never thought that I would be an elected official, but it's a job that I enjoy doing. I like working with money.
Now, what are your primary concerns going into the job? Is anything new popping up? Are there any things that are on their top of your list of priorities?
Well, one of the things that we did in the office was we implemented starting to pay our vendors via ACH. We have, with trying to get checks out to our vendors, we have things that get lost in the mail or routed wrong. I'd like to get more of our vendors on ACH, and so then that way the monies get to their accounts quicker. I just think it's good practices to try to get to our vendors faster.
Well, and that saves you man-hour times too.
It
Man-hour
does.
times trying to track down checks and all the delays and all that
Yes,
kind
and
of
you
thing,
avoid
too.
plus banking fees.
I was going to
Because the
say.
stop pay fee is $15 every time. A few weeks ago, we ended up having 3 or 4 stop pays in one day because of lost checks.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we just got a minute or so left. We're visiting with Paula Wagner, who's the Jefferson County treasurer. Paula, there's obviously a lot of growth happening. I know there's a lot of debates happening regarding that. Is the county in a position to be able to financially handle the infrastructure and the government side of that as things stand right now, as the growth happens?
I believe that with the infrastructure, the part of the ARPA monies is supposed to be helping with the infrastructure that's supposed to be coming through. Yes.
Okay, so right now, good shape.
Yes.
All right. Now, are you, forgive my ignorance, are you up for election this year?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so website, social media, anything like that?
The only thing I have is just my personal Facebook page, and that's Paul Wagner.
Got it. We'll look you up. All right, Treasurer Paul
All
Wagner,
right.
thanks so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much, guys.
being in here.
Thank you.
All right, just ahead, let's continue these conversations here. We've got candidates running for your state legislature coming your way here, and then in just a little bit as well, we're going to dump some more news on you. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, Missouri, which you can hear a lot of activity. Gabe, I love this. There's like campaign T-shirts everywhere.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of awesome.
Which I love. I mean, this is some of the best campaign stuff you're going to find. So come on out. You don't have to be with the campaign. Say hi. We got breakfast for you. We got coffee for you. I say we. I mean, Sugar Creek Golf Course.
Yeah,
has
they do.
these. They're providing it all. And we're going to be here all morning long right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Watch us on our live stream using Rumble, Facebook, and Twitter. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight. A low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon. And by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Are you concerned about the future of America, the economy, the courts, threats to our freedoms? Tim Jones here. Join News Talk STL for Saving America 2024, June 25th at the St. Charles Funny Bone. Hear from renowned experts Joel Griffith and Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation as they analyze the critical issues facing our nation and provide insight into securing America's prosperity. Secure your tickets now at newstalkstl.com before they sell out.
Brought to you by West and Mid Rivers News Magazines and the St. Louis Young Republicans.
Columbo and Katie.
Tuesday is usually Crane Durham Day, but Crane is out this week, so special guest Vic Porcelli joins us. Where does Vic stand politically? Is he a Trump guy? Nobody knows, but we're going to find out.
Weekdays at 2 on News Talk STL.
Hi, I'm Officer John Van Gordon, recruiter with the Springfield Police Department. We are currently looking for driven, qualified, and team-oriented citizens to become the next generation of community-minded servants here in Springfield. Our salaries and benefits are paid from day one. Plus, right now, new recruits are eligible to receive a $5,000 hiring incentive, and experienced officers looking to transfer are eligible for $10,000. To learn more, visit gospd.com. That's gospd.com.
Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
Hey, Columbo here for Intervine, a great local company that has customers all across the country due to the quality of their products. Intervine has the best flashlights, lanterns, headlamps, and even batteries, including the new Monster 2000 Lumen waterproof lantern and the Sentinel 2000 self-defense flashlight. Our home and vehicles are full of great Intervine products, and right now you can shop their website and get 25% off your entire purchase just by using my name, Tony, as your promo code. That's promo code Tony at intervine.com.
The news and talk.
We again confront enemies bent on our destruction.
That matters to St. Louis.
We're receiving intelligence that outside agitators are starting to get involved in these campus protests.
This is 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
I really like all the things you're saying.
News, analysis, opinion.
Thank you very, very much.
News Talk STL.
Danny Define with the Next Gen right here on Sundays at 10 p.m. Now back to a hot, steamy cup of Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, they are asking for your votes, so let's find out why. And by the way, you can ask them directly until at least around 9 o'clock. A lot of the candidates are going to be here at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge this morning. That's one of the fun things, Gabe, is that we get a few minutes with so many different candidates. But if you come on out, have some breakfast, grab some coffee, say hi to us, and then you can find the candidates and say, hey, here's what I want to know about you. You're applying for a job. Let's do an interview right here. You
Absolutely.
can do that. And speaking of that, we've got the national debate coming up between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And as we know, that's going to be
a show.
It's going to be something.
And of course, as something, we're going to need to be someplace where we can drink.
Yes.
So
Yes.
We're going to be doing our event at Johnny's Hideout.
Because God knows what it's going to be, but it's going to be something here. So Johnny's Hideout, that is the 27th, I guess it is.
Yep.
We're going to be back in High Ridge for the debate watch party. Come on out. Chris and Tim are going to do the afternoon show there, and then we're just going to take over Johnny's, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought about doing the bingo card or thing,
Or a drinking game or
do a
something like
drinking game. But I'm afraid we would kill our audience with
Right.
the drinking game.
Yeah, you
because-
can't. Yeah, you got to protect their livers.
Right. The middle of it would be mumble.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that.
Yeah,
And then
everybody
as
gets
soon as-
mumble.
And then another one would be somebody yelling wrong.
Right,
And that
exactly,
would be
yes.
Donald Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's gonna be a blast because I have no idea how this debate's gonna turn out.
It's going to be great.
All right. Once again, we're at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge now, joined by Dominic Lawson. Dom, appreciate you being here. You're running for state representative, 115th district. Okay, so one of the things that with the Republicans having the majority is it's not even really so much about running to have a Republican or a conservative majority. It's what is that going to look like? What kind of Republican majority is it going to be? What is it that you want to bring to that caucus, and how do you want to shape it? I mean, basically, what from your background, is going to matter here? What is it that you want to see the Republican Party in Missouri do and be for the people across the state?
Well, for one, I was born and raised in DeSoto, southern Jefferson County. 54 years old, blue collar, union man. First of all, some of the reasons why I am running is we need to have our constitutional rights protected in this state. I do have all the labor endorsements and everything.
Which is
from the
unusual for
youth.
Republicans, let's be honest. So how does
Yes.
that work into the Republican? I mean, is that something Republicans need to be reaching out for more? Because it's conventional wisdom says unions Democrat, non-union Republican, but you're getting some crossover there.
Yeah, I'm a Christian pro-life individual, but I'm also a union carpenter, and that's what I am. I've been noticed. Let's get down to exactly why I'm running right here. Why I'm running is my constituents. I care about my community. I care about the kids. I care about the schools, and I want to bring that and fight for them up in Jeff City. Up there.
Yeah. So what sort of response have you got? You mentioned the endorsements that you've had from all labor and things. Have you done any door knocking? Or what are individual constituents telling you?
Yeah, a lot of the constituents I've been talking to, a lot of great feedback. The care and concerns that they're showing me or telling me, schools, the support of schools. Make sure that's established. Infrastructure, especially in my district down there. We need infrastructure. We're basically a rural community, a rural district.
So dirt roads.
Yeah.
make them fewer dirt roads.
Yeah, fewer dirt roads.
Yeah, some paved roads. Yeah, get around there. Let me do a lightning round with you real quick here. And that is you mentioned pro-life already, so we covered that one. When it comes to, for instance, when it comes to, say, you mentioned schools as well. Are school choice or more towards the public education side? What's the balance?
Okay. Your public school system is a cornerstone of any community. That needs to be supported. That means the funding needs to be there, needs to have control of the district, needs to be local. The choice of the parent to be able to control the education of their children. Okay. And that needs to be established. And I want to bring that up to Jeff City also.
The state new fiscal year is about to start with the state record surpluses right now. So all the Democrats who are saying you can't cut all this stuff, can't give any tax cuts, we're gonna not run out of money. Well, the state's got more money, knows what to do with right now. So when you go into the next legislative session, what's something that needs to be prioritized from the budget? Because arguably that's your biggest job when it comes to either something that needs to be funded better or more solidly, or even taxes need to be cut. Where does that priority need to lie?
Okay. Especially when it comes to essential jobs. When I say that, that's your fire departments, ambulance districts. Those are essential jobs in the community to strengthen the community. It needs to be funded, and it needs to be there. It needs to have the support on there. That's what I'm.
Okay. Yep. And I know you're one of the smart ones who's not doing social media.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you being there. Once again, Dom Lawson running for state rep in the 115th district. So appreciate you being on, Dom.
Thank you, Dom.
Now we are joined by Billy Crow. You're running, again, we're talking Jefferson County here, District 2 for the county council. Kind of the theme when I'm talking to everybody here, people are wanting to move to Jefferson County. Absolutely. They're leaving St. Louis County, leaving the city. Like, of course, we all know why on there. So when it comes to either preparing for that or encouraging it or even discouraging it, because I know that's part of the debate down here, where do you lie on that sort of spectrum when it comes to that issue?
Well, I think we need to be able to be prepared for that because it's going to happen whether we want it to or not. And to go with that, for those that are like, man, we want to discourage that, one of the ways that ends up being discouraged is kind of by infringing on people's property rights, whether that's the farmer who wants to be able to develop their land or sell their land for their, to be able to retire, right? Or if that's the developer wanting to build, invest in our community, invest in the infrastructure, invest in the tax base, we end up infringing on their property rights to be able to use their property for the most commercial advantage to them. And so, yeah, we need to prepare. And obviously, like Don was saying, especially in the rural parts of the county, there's a lot of infrastructure problems. Even up in my district, as I'm going door to door, knocking on all these doors, I am still on gravel roads that I'm not sure how my wife's car got out of a couple of those potholes because they're so big. But that's the issue that we need to have, and you can't address those issues unless you have a solid tax base, right? So it's the chicken and the egg sort of situation. And we don't want to be taxed out of our minds. And so if services are going to cost more, we don't want to increase taxes. What do we have to do? We have to increase our tax base. And I say if the folks from St. Louis County want to move out here and they want to contribute to our community, and why not, right? We've just Fox C6 School District, which is in County Council District 2, they're struggling for funds because of the declining enrollment and things like that. And so being able to allow young families to come out here, encourage them to see what we have to offer. I love this county. I've been out here my entire life. I grew up in the southern half of the county. I've probably fished in every puddle in the entire county. Probably almost drowned in every puddle in the entire counny doing stupid stuff when I was a kid, right? And we have a lot to offer, and I just want to see them see that and see what we can build out here.
Billy, what's on the table in terms of being able to attract that sort of investment? Is it just a matter of, well, it's going to come, so just be prepared for it, or are things like special tax districts and those things on the table? I know they do that. They do a lot of that stuff in other areas of the St. Louis County.
Sure, I think when it comes to those things, those are an individual basis to see what there is and see what benefit it would have for the community. But I think the biggest thing, as far as it is going to happen no matter what, but preparing our infrastructure to make sure that we have the ability to accept the extra traffic, the extra usage on our sewer systems, our water system, things like that. Those are all things that we can do to prepare for it and encourage good growth in the community.
Yeah, that whole property rights thing. That sounds kind of like a free market approach.
Right? Yeah.
Boy,
what's controversial about that?
Yeah, right? All right. Billy Crow, running for the Jefferson County County Council, District Number 2. You do have a website. So
I do. Yep. BillyCrow.net is the website, and that has a link to my Facebook. But my Facebook is Billy Crow for County Council District 2. And then if anybody wants to call to volunteer, 314-680-5631. We'd love to have the help.
Did you just give your phone number out on the radio?
I did.
Oh, man. I dare you to do it again.
I'll do it again. 314-680-5631.
All right. Thanks, Billy.
You're a wild man, Billy.
Thank you.
All right. 314-912-1019. That's our number. I give that out on the radio all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. And by the way, people may think we're kidding. Come on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on out. There's a lot of people meeting each other. We've got a complimentary breakfast for you. Coffee, which I'm about to reload on.
I hear the biscuits and gravy are good.
I can confirm.
Okay.
Yes.
Because they are gone from your plate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. The ones that used to be on my plate right there.
Yeah.
So, come on out. Say hi. We're going to be here until 9 o'clock right here. 1019-94.1 News Talk STL.
Lord, I heard you talking softly. I turned on the lights.
Follow us on Rumble at News Talk STL.
Still, I can't escape the ghost of you.
Mike Ferguson in the morning.
What has happened to it all? Crazy summer say. Where is the light that I recognize? But I won't cry for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find.
The tides are changing.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk.
The Democratic Party doesn't stand with what I stand for.
News Talk STL.
Tim Jones here, inviting you to join the Veterans Committee of the Eureka Pacific Elks Lodge 2644 as they host a cornhole tournament and BB gun shoot at the lodge on Saturday, June 22nd. For more information, visit eurekapacificelks.org.
The Herzog Tomorrow Foundation provides private school tuition scholarships through Missouri's new Most Scholars program to cover the cost of accessible, high-quality schooling.
Hi, this is Mayela Esser with the Herzog Tomorrow Foundation. Our private school tuition scholarships wouldn't be possible without the support of generous Missouri taxpayers. If you're a Missouri taxpayer interested in redirecting your tax dollars and sending them to Missouri students in need of a better education, please contact me at herzogmostscholars.org.
Better education for students creates a better tomorrow for all. Learn how you can help provide a better education for Missouri students at herzogmoscholars.org. That's herzogmoscholars.org. Also, sign up for The Lion, an initiative of the Herzog Foundation that carries articles covering a wide range of issues facing American families and culture. herzogfoundation.com. That's herzogfoundation.com.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-524-1641. 800-524-1641. That's 800-524-1641.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning is brought to you by Stifel. Request a portfolio review from your Stifel financial advisor at stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com.
Hello, morning people. Tony Colombo and Katie Fitzpatrick here.
Thanks for listening to Mike Ferguson in the Morning here on News Talk STL. And don't forget to join us today at 2 for Colombo and Katie.
See you then.
Man, it's a hot one, like 7 inches from the midday sun.
You know, the thing I like about being out and about, Gabe, is that things get very, very real. I'm looking at the Rumble chat box here because here we are in High Ridge, meeting with a lot of people running for office, some people in office. And, you know, the comments that we're getting is, for instance, Duke says, hey, my road here in High Ridge needs to be fixed first. The white line is down the ditch, a lot of accidents. So I've asked him which road that is. But these are the things that matter to people's lives here. And that's this is a good opportunity to come out and say hi, not just to us, but to them as well. All right. Hey, don't forget, reminder, Flashback Fridays. I know it's early in the week, but we get so many requests for that 80s bump music.
Oh, yeah.
Send them in now. Let us know on the social media platforms, or you can email Stel, STEL, or me, Mike, MIKE, at newstalkstl.com. Gabe and I are here in High Ridge, Missouri. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course, and it is open to everybody here.
And it's hopping.
It's a lot of fun, man. There's a lot of people here. It's great.
Yeah.
And so you want to come out and meet the people who are either already in office or running for office, but come on out, complimentary breakfast, coffee, it's all here for you. It is, what the heck time is it? 6:51 right now. We've got Brian Haskins from the County Council here, and of course, Charles Grodeke. And did I say your name? I think I got your name.
Yeah,
right.
Grodeke.
I got it right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Both of y'all from the County Council. For instance, I just got a note in saying, hey, Hunting Road needs to be looked at. Let me start with you, Brian. We look at the infrastructure, the roads. You've got that mix of, rural roads. You got the variety of, pavements and gravel and dirt and all the sorts of things. What's the immediate plans as far as maintaining and improving the roads that are out there? Because you've got suburban and you've got rural. You've got a mix that a lot of county governments just don't have to always deal with.
Well, first, thanks, Mike, for having us, and thanks for having us all here. That's and I really appreciate that very much. It's not just roads, but all of those services. Since we don't have a city here, and by the way, welcome to District 1. That's my district. Welcome. I'm glad to have Sugar Creek Golf Course in my district. It's really nice venue, but really, if you look at District 1, we start at Gravois Bluffs. So the roads begin at Gravois Bluffs. So whether it's the state, county, all of those roads, and we have a great staff. Fortunately for us, we have a great department. We're very good at getting the grants, but all those roads are important. Luckily, I don't think we have dirt roads anymore. I think those are gone to gravel, but the pavement. I just drove in this morning and saw brand new pavement on one of our side roads in my district that one of the neighbors said, hey, we've got a broken shoulder. And not only did they fix the broken shoulder, but they poked about another 100 feet on both directions. So that's a constant, and we have we just have a very good department that does that. It's about a third of the county, that department alone.
As far as the budget, you mean?
Yeah, and staff.
Yeah, that makes sense though.
Mhm.
That's about the right proportion, I would think.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
know, for my limited time in office.
Now, are you worried at all about funding? Is are new taxes on the table, or are we looking at tax cuts, or what's the mix that works best for in your view where you currently are as a county?
Well, I think our roads, of course, everybody could use, but certainly one of our fundings, both property tax and we have a half-cent sales tax. So our department, the county can leverage both of those to get a lot of 80/20 projects. We have, if you've seen in High Ridge, we have a $3 million sidewalk. We haven't had this will be the first sidewalk in High Ridge, if you can believe that. But
That's awesome.
Well, it is absolutely we have 70 different businesses connected to that, from schools, churches, restaurants, and that boulevard was there. The last time we had a big improvement was 1860.
Oh wow!
They voted to levy gravel. So finally, that road has been there for that long, and now we've got street lights. It's safe. It's a 10-foot pedestrian, and our plans are to connect Sugar Creek all the way from here to Rockwood. We're only 7/10 of a mile from Rockwood, so we'll be able to connect pedestrian-wise from there all the way through Sugar Creek, all the way through that, all the way down to House Springs. So we'll have about a 7-mile loop. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, people forget pedestrian is transportation
Mhm.
as well. All right, got a few minutes left here. Charles Grodeke, of course, you're District 4 here in the High Ridge. But when you look at the county, it's kind of the theme that I'm picking up from everybody is what to do about the growth, what to do about the people who are trying to flee St. Louis City, people who are tired of the government, the taxes in St. Louis County. They're going to St. Charles. They're also looking at Jefferson County. What's the right approach for the county government, knowing that that's how kind of the market conditions are right now?
Well, that land use has always been the biggest issue that the county council has faced. I've been on the county council about 10 years now, and land use has always been the premier issue. The different things that come in front of the council as far as rezoning issues and things of that nature. I worked for over 3 years to get the county administration to commit funding to develop a new master plan for development for the county, and we're in the middle of developing a new master plan so that some of these issues can be addressed properly and with a plan in place so that we can move forward in a organized fashion.
Okay, and where's the biggest demand? Is it housing right now? Is it retail? I mean, what does the county need to be prepared for?
It's housing. It's always been housing in Jefferson County. We're basically a bedroom county from my side of the county, although we do have the port development coming in my district, and we also have Kimswick with the riverboat port where people can come and land off the riverboats and come in and visit beautiful Jefferson County.
I just had somebody ask about the senior property tax freeze. That's already passed here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There were several council members that didn't vote in favor of the senior property tax. We had to put a moratorium on it so that it won't go into effect until next year. But we did manage to get it passed. So the administration is working on the details to try to put that together, and hopefully we'll have all that in place soon.
Now St. Louis County Sam Page is saying that it's going to take like $1 million to administer to implement such a program. I don't imagine you guys have the same idea about
Well,
that.
as all the different things that I've studied on it and the meetings I've been to about the senior property tax, the amount of cost for implementation decreases with the number of citizens that are going to apply for it. And we have less citizens in here than St. Charles County or St. Louis County, so that the number of people that are going to be directly affected are going to be less. Plus, we're going to have the advantage of using the template that's been put in place by St. Louis County and in St. Charles County. Their departments are much larger than ours, and they've been able to work things out. So we're going to be use their templates to get ours started, and we're working in that direction.
St. Charles County probably more competent than St. Louis County.
Yes, they've got their game on.
All right, Charles, website, you're up for election this year. Website, social media.
Website is www.charlesgrodeke.com. I'm up for re-election in District 4, County Council District 4.
Great, good to see you again. Thanks so
you.
much.
Thank you, Mike.
And Brian, thanks so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks,
All
Brian.
right, thanks, guys. All right, we are at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, Missouri. Thank you for everybody who's sending in the questions, saying, hey, ask them about this. We're going to try to get those in as much as possible. Remember, you may not live here in the area if you're listening wherever around the region, but the decisions of the people here will affect you.
I am an atheist. I really am a liberal, but I'm also a conservative.
No matter your side,
I'm a Democrat. I'm just a bit angry, frustrated conservative.
no matter your inclination,
I'm probably a liberal, maybe more in the middle.
we are here for your place to talk about it.
I'm the progressive liberal Democrat that you said is afraid to call you.
St. Louis is #1 for conservative talk.
I'm sure we'll have a robust conversation.
News Talk STL.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Only 36%, just over a third, are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2024 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
So we finally got the parts for the time machine.
Classic Kicks Country is streaming now. Hear all your new country favorites from the 90s. Streaming as it happened in the 90s. Classic Kicks. Download the Classic Kicks app from the App Store. Online at ClassicKicks.com. Or enable the Classic Kicks skill on Alexa. 90s New Country streaming now. KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Belfast, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says the UN Security Council's vote in favor of a U.S.-backed proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza has made it, quote, as clear as it possibly could be that the world supports the plan. Blinken says Hamas leadership needs to commit in order for the proposal to move forward.
Everyone has said yes, except for Hamas. And if Hamas doesn't say yes, then this is clearly on them.
Blinken said Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had reaffirmed his commitment to the proposal. Jurors are set to resume deliberations this morning in the criminal case against President Biden's son. The case involves a 2018 gun purchase when prosecutors say Hunter Biden was in the throes of a crack cocaine addiction. The U.S. is lifting a weapons ban on a controversial Ukrainian military unit.
The State Department has removed restrictions on the transfer of American weapons and training to a high-profile Ukrainian military unit with a checkered past. Officials say the Azov Brigade passed a vetting process that found it had not committed any gross human rights violations. The move will help the brigade, among Ukraine's most effective and popular, move beyond its reputation as a far-right movement, a perception its commanders have been trying to dispel as Russian propaganda. Moscow has repeatedly portrayed the Azov as a Nazi group and accused it of atrocities, but given no evidence. I'm Charles Stilledesma.
Malawi's vice president and 9 others have been killed in a plane crash. That announcement from the country's president today. The wreckage of the military plane carrying Vice President Saulus Chilima was located in a mountainous area. On Wall Street, Dow futures are off 167 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If you just grin and bear it or bite the bullet when it comes to everyday pain, don't. Try Relief Factor, a drug-free daily supplement that helps your body fight pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors. In 3 weeks or less, you'll know whether it works for you like it works for me. Try Relief Factor for yourself. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF and save on your first order. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight. A low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon. And by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Senior Memorial. Give Benjamin Schaefer a call at 314-866-8886 or visit memorialplans.com. Senior Memorial Heritage Protection.
Oh, Adam, you are so romantic. And I love the kitchen you found with all these great crumbs.
Yeah, baby. Only the finest crumbs in the kitchen for my favorite aunt. Oh, no. It's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They always kill the mood.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. Give us a call today at 636-486-7888. We'd love to help you out. Learn more about our special $67 offer. You can visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Hey, Columbo here for the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Summertime in St. Louis means things like family gatherings, barbecues, and graduation parties, and Zero Res knows how important it is to have your home as clean and healthy as possible for your friends and family, so they're kicking off summer with an amazing offer. Book a cleaning in June and mention the Columbo special, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at just $129. Plus, you can take $50 off an air duct cleaning. Just mention the Columbo special when you call 314-474-2020 or when you book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the Morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Mike Ferguson.
You play ball like a girl.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
I triple dog Darian.
Get up! Get up! Can't you hear the alarm?
Get up, St. Louis.
So it's time to get out of bed. Pour yourself the greatest cup of Kofifi the world has ever seen. Rise up with one voice, drain the swamp, and take back our country. Today's the day we're going to do it, and it's time to do it right now, believe me.
Mike Ferguson in the Morning on News Talk STL.
Get up! Get up! This is your cousin.
You see, right now there's a big difference between the people who are used to watching us online and in the safety of a studio and the people here in High Ridge who just said, what the hell are those people doing? What are they doing right now? Why are those people dancing?
They got
with
really,
coffee
really
cups?
excited about Trump talking about Kofifi.
There you go. Exactly. All right. Good morning. It is 7:05. Got Gabe here. I'm Mike Ferguson. Stel Ponticus holding down the fort in Maryland Heights at our studio, and we are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, Missouri. Joey V making things happen out here. And if you're in the area, we're going to be here at least until 9 o'clock.
Absolutely.
And we've got a running series of conversations with those who are not just in office, but running for office. And you may say, well, I live in St. Charles or I live in Madison County. It doesn't really, listen, the people running for office here affect the region and they affect the state legislature, and that affects everybody. But by the way, if you come on out, we've got complimentary breakfast. I just restocked on the coffee myself, and so we've got a lot of ground to cover right now. Joined now by Sheriff Dave Marshak. Hey, appreciate you being on, Sheriff.
Good morning. Thanks
Good
for
to
having
see you
me.
again.
What a
Yeah.
beautiful day.
Yeah,
Yes,
last
great
time
crowd here.
Oh, it is. There's so many people. This is so much fun. And
Really
I
cool.
mentioned a little bit earlier, I said you're seeing all the campaign T-shirts. You know, seeing all the campaign hats, and maybe it's just the nerd in me. There's a lot of things I'm a nerd about, but I really like that because it shows how many people are actually involved and wanting to be involved, and people are feeling passionately either about the issues or about their community or about the people who want to run the community, and that's a real good like face-to-face transparency thing.
Look, I think for any candidate that wants to be elected, they need to be seen out working. They want to know, as a voter, I want to know that my candidate is out working, doing the job that they say that they're going to do, and they're going to put the work for it.
Sheriff, we've been talking a lot with the various politicians and candidates about growth out here and the implications of that. Do you see any issues in terms of public safety that come with that sort of growth?
Well, of course, the cost of business increases every single year. The cost of employee health care goes up, car insurance, general liability insurance. We run a jail, so inmate healthcare costs go up, inmate food goes up every single year. So Jefferson County growth last year was 3.8%. It's not enough to offset some of those costs. So you're looking either you cut services at some point, you work a little bit smarter, or you increase revenue. Those are your options, and it's pretty limited. Nobody likes to talk about it, but the reality is there has to be some growth to sustain the type of quality service that the community wants.
A little bit earlier today, Sheriff, and I did not know this until literally about 2 hours ago. Somebody was telling me that there's actually a homelessness issue, a small number of homeless that are, in the area, and we think of that as an urban issue. We think of that as a city issue. I never would have thought that in Jefferson County. What's the reality of that? And then from a public safety perspective, not all homeless people are dangerous or criminals or anything, but what is it that affects people, or they want to know that you've got your eye on?
So we always keep a finger on the pulse, and the reality is I've been out here 30 years next month. We've always had a small homeless population. We did a study a few years ago. It's less than 100. Jefferson County has more than 231,000 people. And to say that it's less than 100 is, we would always like to see zero, but that's just not the reality. In terms of crime and the correlation of that, it's pretty limited. Sometimes we'll see lower level theft in areas around the county, but we address that pretty quick. So I would say for the public, we've got a pulse on it.
Yeah.
Get the finger on the pulse.
And of course, another issue, and we've got the event coming up here regarding Jefferson County being a border county. And it's when I saw that ad that was on Facebook, I think, as I saw the image that was put up for that, it kind of, made me do a double take. And I'm completely bought into the concept that every state's a border state now because of the porous southern border and the way that it happens, obviously 55 and 44 and all the other counties in the region right here. But you've got, and we talked about this a little bit last week, but you've got an event coming up. Really, it looks like a town hall sort of meeting. You, somebody who's literally a sheriff on the border as well, and it is literally about Jefferson County being a border county. Somebody may say, geez, you're making politics out of it, but this really is a public safety thing.
This is a public safety thing. And the reality is it's not just Jefferson County, it's counties. And I talk to my peers throughout the entire country. They're dealing with the same thing. And the conversations of how do you tackle this when a busload of migrants is dropped off in your community. We're excited to talk about this because that has happened in Jefferson County and Herculaneum just a few months ago. And it's something that law enforcement, look, when they passed a bill in New York City that criminalized some of these bus drivers dropping off migrants, they didn't drive down in the city anymore. They started dropping them off in the suburbs and the boroughs. And so the reality for law enforcement is that historically it was a big city issue, but that's not the case anymore. And our community is concerned, as they should be. And then from a safety perspective, 9/11, 23 years ago, what we're allowing at the border to come in unvetted is a serious concern for law enforcement, as it should be.
Yeah, and this is going to happen June 20th at the Fox C6 Service Center in Arnold. Border crisis, why Jefferson County is now a border county. What is this conversation going to look like? Is it a matter of people showing up and just listening? Will you be listening? What's the format going to look like?
Yeah, so Sheriff Daniels from Cochise County, Arizona, will provide a kind of a comprehensive overview of just how bad the problem is. A lot of video, he is on the border. And so from there, it'll be an educational component, and then we'll facilitate a conversation about what that looks like. And some of the things that we've done here in cooperation with leadership throughout Jefferson County, including some of our council members, to address it when things happen here. And the biggest concern, of course, is, should a bus load of migrants be dropped off again, what's the plan of action to make sure that they're not embedding themselves into our community that doesn't have the resources to provide for these types of services.
What are you empowered to do in Missouri, and what changes, if any, should the legislature make when it comes to local law enforcement being able to deal with with illegal aliens?
Look, in the state of Missouri right now, there's no Missouri state statute that provides for law enforcement to take these types of actions in terms of enforcement. We require federal assistance to support us at the local and state level. And so moving forward, even if you were to create the laws, you have to have the funding stream to support it. The reality is the federal government's not doing their job right now And that's really what the discussion needs to be, and to educate our community on how bad it is and where their leadership has failed them. And so for us, it's to do what we can to keep our community safe. But acknowledgement is so important to understand what's happening on a national level and how they're failing us. The leaders in Washington, D.C. are failing us.
When you look at what's happening, obviously, in the community here, you've had some tragedies, for instance, recently with the murder of a couple of children. And those are things that don't happen often in small communities like this. Obviously, you hope that's not the norm, but when you look at the next 5 years, the next 10 years, what is it that the sheriff's office is going to have to be prepared for and prepared to do? I mean, what are the trends you're watching out for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I will tell you that it was a tragedy for our community. Those are very rare. In 2023, Jefferson County had the lowest homicide rate per capita in the entire St. Louis region, so we have a very safe community. We continue to invest in law enforcement here. And last month we celebrated a groundbreaking for a brand new computer and forensics crime lab. It'll be the first new one in the entire St. Louis region in the last 30 years. So I think law enforcement needs to continue to invest, and we continue to do that here in Jefferson County to make sure we have a safe community. Again, state of the art, and that'll make a difference for not only Jefferson County, but it'll make a difference for the entire St. Louis region.
Yeah, because law enforcement, you have to be networked in with everybody else, or it just doesn't work.
We are. Last Friday, I was in a meeting with multiple, I think 6 different counties, the leadership of 6 different counties, talking about crime and solutions. So those conversations continue to take place, and Jefferson County will play a role in safety throughout the region.
All right, Sheriff Dave Marshak, the event is on the 20th. I guess they can contact your office for more information.
Reach out to us. We're happy to have it. I think we still have a couple of seats left. It should be a nice crowd. It should be a nice evening, educational. And I think you'll leave there with a different perspective than when you arrived.
All right, Sheriff, the website, social media, I think we've already tagged you on our social media, but people want to get in touch directly.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm easy to find out there. It's Sheriff Dave Marshak with Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. Thank you for having me. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, good to talk to you again, Sheriff. Thanks so much.
Day. Thank you, sir.
All right, getting a lot of comments in on Rumble in particular, and Dave and Stella watching the other platforms as well. We're going to continue these conversations. It's interesting, Gabe, because we're talking about people who are running for office who are in the Jefferson County region here, but this affects, obviously the entire St. Louis region and, of course, the entire state as well. Keep the questions coming. You want us to ask of the candidates. We're going to pick up those conversations just in about 2.5 minutes right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL. We are in High Ridge at the Sugar Creek Golf Course. Come on out, say hi, get some coffee, break bread with us, or pancakes in my case.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. Get up. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Get up, can't you hear the alarm? Get up, this is your cousin. Get up, what are you waiting for? Get up, get up.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
So the Missouri legislative session is over. Let's talk to Nick Schroer about some national stuff, Trump and all that kind of stuff. That's Tuesday morning, 9:05.
Weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL.
Tony Colombo here, along with Tim Jones for Rodney and Jen Wallner, the Wallner home selling team at Berkshire Hathaway. Rodney and Jen are the #1 home selling team in the area, and I could say that from personal experience. They sold our old home faster and for more money than we thought possible, which put us in a great position as we tried to find our perfect new home. And with help from the Wallners, that's exactly what we did. Christine and I couldn't be happier with our experience working with Rodney and Jen Wallner. And Tim, the numbers speak for themselves.
That's right, Tony. Everybody knows the Wallners sell 15 times more homes per year than the typical realtor. And if you're looking to sell your home, right now they have so many qualified buyers, they'll guarantee to obtain you an offer. They're licensed in both Missouri and Illinois, so no matter where you are in the St. Louis region, you can put the Wallners experience and work ethic to work for you. If you've been thinking about selling your home, don't wait. Call Rodney and Jen Wallner now at 314-810-SOLD. That's 314-810-SOLD. 810 sold for the Walner home selling team. Replacing your roof is always a big deal and a big decision. That's why I want you to call my friends, the folks that we've trusted with our homestead, Eureka Contracting and Roofing. 636-938-ROOF. That's 636-938-ROOF. They are veteran-owned, over 30 years of experience in the construction and insurance industry. They'll replace 100% of your roof, siding, fascia, and gutters. They'll come to you with a personal consultation. Give them a call anytime that Mother Nature strikes you. 636-938-ROOF. Available 24/7 at eurekacontracting.com. That's eurekacontracting.com.
Tony Colombo here, reminding you to visit my friends at Bluff City Outdoors in Alton before your next trip into the great outdoors. For decades, Bluff City Outdoors has covered all the needs for area fishermen, and they'll always have all the best bait, tackle, and gear for your next trip on the water. And now they cover all your bow hunting needs, including their state-of-the-art indoor archery range and techno hunt system, open every day for you to come shoot, or you can join a league. Follow Bluff City Outdoors on Facebook and learn more at bluffcityoutdoors.com.
Hey, thank you very much for taking my call.
News, analysis, opinion.
Yes, I just want you to know what a breath of fresh air you people are.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Bill O'Reilly here. Check out the O'Reilly Update this afternoon at 3:45. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, you don't have to live in Jeffco to be affected by what's happening here, Gabe. And that's one of the things that I keep wanting to drive home is that there is so much growth and interest in what's happening in Jefferson County. I'm glad we're out here. The reality is that bad government in St. Louis County, we got some people fighting the good fight in St. Louis County, but they're losing in a lot of cases.
Absolutely.
And that's got people literally looking to leave. St. Louis County has lost population. St. Louis City, well, I don't even need to describe what's going on there. People are looking for some place to go, and so Jefferson County has a decision to make. What kind of county are we going to be? Are we going to be ready? You know, are we going to be one that embraces the growth? Are we going to be one that tries to divert it somewhere else? And those are questions that they have to answer, but that affects the region and affects the state as well.
Absolutely.
I'm Mike Ferguson. Got Gabe Pfeiffer here. Got Joey V here at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. Stel Ponticus, of course, manning the home base in Maryland Heights. It is 7:19 right now. Don't forget the Jefferson County Republican Club Conservative Showcase happening on Monday, June 17th. I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to be the MC for that event. Looking forward to that. You can get more information at jeffcogopclub.com. Let's talk to some candidates. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Joe Maddock is running for state representative in the 113th district. And Joe, thanks for being on right now. We'll give out the website information here in just a few minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me ask something I was asking one of the other candidates here. Is that obviously an overwhelming Republican majority. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a unified front in Jeff City. We've seen that a lot the last couple of legislative sessions. What was it that made you say, all right, that's why I'm going to get in this crazy world of politics and run? And if you're elected, how do you want to nudge that Republican Party to be what kind of caucus and do what differently?
Yeah. You know, whenever I decided I was going to run, it was a matter of having conversations just like these, right? You sit down, you have a conversation, you realize that you're just sitting around complaining. And I actually got on a podcast about 3 years ago, and someone asked me my advice. Well, what should people do? I said, well, you need to get involved, right? You need to do something, get involved in local politics. And then I took a look in the mirror and I went, oh, I'm not quite as involved as what I would recommend. So that's when I started really getting involved in the community. I was elected as the president of the Jefferson County Republican Club.
Oh, the one I just promoted.
Yes, exactly.
I swear to God, I did not know that.
Perfect segue. I appreciate that you're going to be there.
Yeah.
That's going to be incredible. So, you know, the whole reason why I ran for that position is the same reason that I'm running for this one. Whenever you see an opportunity in front of you, you give advice. You say, hey, I think that we should do this, this, and this. And then your opinions aren't heard, or you think that you can be a better administrator. You have to say, hey, I'm willing to do it. I know it's a sacrifice. I know this isn't easy. You know, we have Miss Renee right here with us as well. And, you know, she'll tell you the same thing. It's not easy. And going there, I know I'm not going to be one to say, I'm going to go here and I'm going to have this person get in line, this person get in line, this person get in line. It's not about that. It's about going there. You have to listen. You have to be able to have a conversation. on both sides of the aisle, but I mean, especially in our Republican caucus, right? I think that what you're seeing is a lot of the social media bickering going back and forth, and it's very easy to go on, be a keyboard warrior, and say, this is how I'm going to get things done. This is what this person's doing wrong. I think having the conversation and being willing to listen is the one divider that we're having right now in the Republican caucus.
Yeah, and Gabe, that's a fair point because there's so much toxicity on social media. By the way, you can follow us at News Talk STL on social media.
Also at me, No, but seriously, Jeff City has shown itself to be a bit dysfunctional in terms of getting things, big red things, as we like to say, done. There are a lot of things that have been left on the table. What's the top of your list of priorities of things you think Jeff City needs to get done in the next session?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is we need to take a deep look at BIP reform again. Seeing how we can actually put something in place that makes sense for the state, but then also for the people, right? We can't just take away the people's ability to have their voices heard. We can't just say, hey, no more amending the Constitution without giving them an outlet to have their voices actually heard. Some of the other things is we need to look at the funding. I mean, the budget is absolutely out of control. It's a straight line. It looks like Joe Biden's economy here in Missouri, and it's really sad. And listening to some of the other senators and representatives talk about what we could do on property taxes. I mean, that is another thing that I really want to take a hard look at. Can we eliminate property taxes? I view that as being one of the most un-American forms of taxation out there. We came here to find, life, liberty, prosperity, the right to property. The way that we have it set up right now, you don't own your property, sir.
Yeah, you rent it.
You're renting it from the government. And I don't find that as an acceptable method of taxation. I think there's other ways that we can fund our local schools, especially whenever you look and you see, okay, it's going to cost us about what, $1.5 billion. And then you see what we've done to the budget. Where are we going to come up with this $1.5 billion? Well, how much have we added to the budget in the last 10 years?
Well, the state has more money, knows what to do with. They're about to go into the new fiscal year, with more money and surplus than they've ever had before.
Absolutely. So that's an opportunity that we have right in front of us. Now, the one thing that I want to make sure that we're careful of, and this is where listening comes in whenever you're going there, we can't just say, okay, now the state's in control of that funding. Because with any funding, same way as the state gets money from the federal government, there's going to be strings attached to it. So we need to make sure that the state government is not controlling the local government just because they're the ones that are actually paying the bills.
Okay, we've been here for like 3 hours, and I've heard somebody talk about free markets. Now I've heard property rights.
Yeah, I know. You need to contain yourself, Mike. I know. You're getting really excited over there. The libertarian just rises like, yes.
I was having this conversation earlier. I am a recovering libertarian. So back in the day, in my inexperienced youth, I thought everybody played by the same set of rules.
Yeah.
So let's just be nice to each other. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't work, and that's where
not quite the same.
Republican values really come into play. Because you have to set rules, and you have to make sure that everybody's playing by the same.
Joe, what's the website or social media?
Maddock for Missouri.
MADDOCK.
Yes, sir. MaddockforMissouri.com, Maddock for Missouri on Facebook, and Maddock for Mo on X.
Twitter.
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate that. All right, now joined by Renee Reuter, 111th district, if I'm getting that correct, right?
112.
112.
That's right next door.
That's why I always say
right
that with a
next door.
question mark on here. Okay, so Renee, first of all, thanks for being here.
Sure.
As well, so many state lawmakers and state lawmaking candidates are out here. When you look, and Gabe mentioned the dysfunction that just happened and the lack of getting things done. So I guess it's a two-part question, Renee. Is one, what's it going to take to contribute to the Republicans being a unified, force? Because a super majority, that doesn't mean you agree on everything, but, not have what happened. And secondly, once you can do that, what are the priorities the Republican Party should have going into the next legislative session? I mean, we're going to be post-presidential election. There's going to be that hangover there. Things aren't getting done. What is it that they should be prioritizing and look around and say, we're the supermajority party, get out of our way, we're going to do it?
Well, I can tell you, in the last 2 years in the House of Representatives, all of our legislative goals have been met before spring break, which is about halfway through. I think the problem is more with the Senate than with the House. We've been able to turn things around very quickly. Dean Plocker has done a great job as the leadership. I think he'll be missed, but I think John Patterson will be doing a great job. So, I'm not sure. The rules are different in the Senate than they are in the House, but it is frustrating for us to pass something, watch it go to the Senate, and just sit there. By the end of session, we're feeling like our work is not even valued because we can't get anything through.
Well, and that's been the frustrating thing is that at the beginning of the session, Gabe and I said, here's exactly what's going to happen.
Yep.
And it happened. It's a slow-moving train wreck.
Almost to the letter.
Almost
Yeah.
to the letter, almost to the day. It was incredibly predictable, whether it was initiative petition reform, whether it was expanding school choice, whether it was any of these issues that are in the Republican platform that just weren't getting done. So when you look at those dynamics, all you can do is pass what you can pass. Going into the next election, what is it that's at the top of your to-do list that you'd like to see the caucus get on board and say, this first, then we'll deal with other things?
Probably IP reform. That was our number one issue for the last 2 years, and I think it'll continue until we figure something out. I'm not really sure what happened in the Senate, but we did get it passed. And the last day of session, we sat there and we waited. And 2 or 3 times we'd get a message from the Senate saying, the Senate has nothing to tell you right now.
Oh, wow.
There's nothing going on. And so we were really hoping to be able to vote on it this year. Now, we did pass the bill, Senate Bill 727, which had some school choice provisions in it. And it was a pretty good
It's
bill.
a baby step, yeah.
Yeah, but the bill was humongous, and it took a lot of pushing and pulling to get some language that everyone could agree on. But I think it's good legislation overall.
What do you think leadership is going to look like in these new terms coming in? Because we got some people who've termed out and things like that. So what do you foresee coming of the leadership shakeups that are on the horizon?
Well, we've got Alex Riley is coming up to be the next floor leader probably, and he's been great. I've served with him on the Gen Laws Committee, and he was a very thoughtful leader that was willing to listen to different ideas and try to come to consensus. So I think that'll be great. John Patterson, who'll be speaker, he also is very, very personable, easy to talk to, and I think he really, really wants to move the House forward. So I think we're set for good stuff in the next year.
Should conservatives be worried about John Patterson as speaker? There are some conservatives who weren't happy with everything that he, addressed as far as like some of the gun laws and things like that he pulled and then eventually put back up under pressure. So what kind of leader do you expect Speaker Patterson to be from, the number 2 to the number 1 job?
You got to remember, last year, one of the big issues was the transgender legislation.
Yeah.
And he voted against the transgender medical bill. But you got to remember, he controls what bills come to vote on the floor. So he did let it go to the floor. I'm not sure, what that thought process was, but he at least let it come to a vote. So I really appreciate that from him. And then this year, he's not been too controversial in terms of his voting. So I think he'll be fine.
Okay. I mean, can that be something that, of course, and I've been in this business long enough. I remember when the House was dysfunctional. Now it's the Senate.
Sure.
That's how long I've been doing this, about 30 years or so, 28 years or so. And so it's interesting to see that dichotomy, the way that's switched.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that somebody's got to not just take a formal leadership position, but somebody's got to take that informal person to person, political science. There's a science there. There's an art to it as well. And take that and say, listen, guys, you want to keep your majority. You do it by getting stuff done. And that's one of the reasons I'm glad we can have these conversations.
Sure. One of the really fun things last year that I saw was we had some issues with the budget, getting the budget passed. And in the end, Cody Smith, who's the chairman of the budget committee, he is running for another statewide seat. And he met with Jason Huff and Lincoln Huff, excuse me. And the two of them met, I don't know, almost nonstop for a couple of days. And Representative Smith looked so tired by the last day we were discussing the bill. And he did a really nice job. The two of them worked things out. And it wasn't, if you got a big group of people, sometimes you can have too many cooks in the kitchen.
Right.
And I think it worked out great. And in the end, we passed a bill that was $1.5 million less than what the governor had originally requested. So that was a big win for the House.
Yeah, and
for
you
the
still
Senate.
have a surplus going into the next fiscal year as well.
We do, but that's going to dwindle here soon. A lot of it is the ARPA funds that are starting to age out, and it'll be tough in the next few years. Once that money is gone, because we've become used to, having all of it to spend.
Yeah.
So we have to be thoughtful.
Okay, all right, Renee Reuter, website, social media. Are you
My
on there?
website is Renee Reuter, RENEEREUTER.info. So if you want to learn about me, just look for my name .info.
All right, Representative, thanks so much. Appreciate you being out here.
Absolutely.
All right, getting a lot of great comments here on the social media here as well. We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, which, by the way, doors are open. Breakfast is being served. It is completely complimentary.
It's hot.
Come on out and join us. And you can question the candidates. You can question the lawmakers yourself right here. And, of course, we're going to pick things up here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, 99.1 HD3 and newstalkstl.com. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight. A low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon. And by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Hey, it's Columbo for Capriotti's Sandwich Shop. Capriotti's is famous for setting themselves apart due to their dedication to superior quality and ingredients like slow-roasted, hand-pulled whole turkey and American Wagyu straight from Snake River Farms. That dedication to superior quality is evident from the very first bite into a Capriotti sandwich. Visit Capriotti's Sandwich Shop 7 days a week at the corner of Manchester and McKnight in Rock Hill and get more info, including how to impress at your next event with their great catering at capriottis.com.
This is Larry Connor's commentary on News Talk STL.
You might be one of those always searching the internet for life hacks to make your life easier, better some way or another. Maybe toothpaste cleans silver nicely. If you put ice cubes in your dryer, your shirts won't wrinkle. Well, David Hassani of The Federalist wrote a piece, a life hack for Hamas. If you don't want to be killed, don't take hostages. Yes, talking about those 4 hostages rescued by the IDF over the weekend. And, of course, he points out, if you don't want to be placed in harm's way, don't hold hostages in your home or neighborhoods. Don't cheer and support a government that puts your life in constant danger for a lost cause. But they do continue, don't they? And, of course, they continue to say 200 plus killed to rescue 4. That doesn't seem right. Of course, you have to assume the 200 number is right, but you also have to assume if they'd not been holding the hostages, it wouldn't have happened at all. In fact, Harsani says this entire conflict could end. How? Well, here's a life hack for Hamas. Release all the hostages. Surrender. You do that, all of the fighting, the killing will stop. That's your life hack for the day.
Get more Larry Connors on Larry Connors USA.
Tonight at 6 on News Talk STL.
Hey, this is a great time to get fantastic deals at Ackerman Toyota, #1 volume dealer in the area. Why? Very simple. They want to make you happy. They'll come up with a deal that puts you in the driver's seat. You'll be smiling as you drive off the lot. You got to trade in? You're going to get top dollar from Ackerman. Looking for a premium used car or truck? Ackerman is the answer. Ackerman Toyota at Hampton and 44. AckermanToyota.com. Ackerman Toyota for life.
Looking for the ultimate golfing experience in St. Louis? Look no further than Sugar Creek Golf Course. As the most popular golf course in the region, Sugar Creek offers 18 holes of challenging play, designed for all skill levels on rolling country hills with stunning views. But it's not just about the game, it's about the experience. Friendly staff, new Yamaha golf carts, freshly paved cart paths, and renovated clubhouse will make your day on the course a pleasure. Sugar Creek Golf Course, the perfect place to bring your team or friends together. Book your tee time today at sugarcreekgolfcourse.com. That's sugarcreekgolfcourse.com. potpourri.com.
Hey, Tony Colombo here for Gutter Pros. When Christine and I bought our new house, we knew the gutters were an issue, and after meeting the Gutter Pros team, we knew that they were right for us. Gutter Pros is your all-in-one gutter service team that offers a variety of affordable solutions, and they even offer free estimates, so there's no cost to you to find out if they are right for your home, just like they were for ours. If you're having a problem with your gutters, contact the Gutter Pros now, because with Gutter Pros, water goes where they tell it to. Call them at 314-656-7195 or visit gutterpros.com.
I'm Dr. TJ, owner of the Institute of Natural Health, co-owner of Optimal Nutraceuticals, and the host of Wellness 101. Wellness 101 is designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you common sense, science-based information regarding health and wellness. On the show, we discuss topics like thyroid health, gut health, hormone optimization, and many others. Our show airs Saturdays at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. right here on News Talk STL. For more information, visit us at inhstl.com. That's inhstl.com.
This is what's happening.
I condemn the anti-Semitic protest. He needs to be doing is being the commander-in-chief.
1019 and 94.1.
It is in some ways like 1933 in Germany.
News Talk STL. This is 1019 and 94.1.
Female millennial Trump supporter. I listen to it like every day. Like, seriously, you get it.
News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Vic Porcelli.
And Ken.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Vic.
Ken and I are on every Monday through Friday, 9 to 11, right here on News Talk STL. Right now, you're listening to Mike Ferguson in the morning on 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL. Whoosh, my morning people.
Okay, those of you who are, conservative or free market, or maybe even you're just a right of center Republican, you've got to be looking at Jefferson County as kind of one of the success stories in the state. I've got a little secret for you, Gabe. When I was doing actual news back in the day before I got into this side of things, Jefferson County was a blue county.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It ain't no blue county anymore.
No,
that's for sure. Really. We'll get into that in just a second here. All right, one of the fastest growing parts of the region, of course, is Jefferson County. That's where we are right now. We're at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, and some of the candidates who want to be part of the decisions that affect your wallet and your life. That's what people are really tuned into, that too, of the wallet. Come meet them. Come grab a complimentary breakfast and say hi. Hear from the candidates. Pretty much the rest of the morning here. But let's start with that flip from blue to red in the county. Nora Ross is with the Jefferson County Central Committee with the GOP. And Nora, we've been talking a lot about, kind of the majority that the Republicans have in the state house. But that happens when you win the local races right here. And like I said, I remember when this was a blue county. That was never a liberal leftist county. It's never been that. So basically the voters have said, okay, the Democrats are not representing us anymore. I don't get the feeling that the people have really shifted in ideology. They've just said, we've just joined a new team. Does that seem fair as an assessment?
That does seem fair. However, we also have some who are running now as Republicans that have a Democratic ideology with government control. As Republicans, we want small government, and that has not happened in some of our, like in our county council and in some of our other situations in the county.
Okay, so I am really glad that you have the guts to say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So when you're in the Central Committee, I mean, this is a building block of a party. And so what you're doing in the Central Committee in the St. Charles County and St. Louis County and Warren County and Franklin County, it's going down. And people who recognize that there have I think almost, can I say, inoculating sort of effect on that. I don't want to freak out some of the people on the right when I say that, but you know what I mean. You're the first line of defense against that big governmentalism, which I've been warning is coming in the Republican Party unless people get in the way of it right now. So
the conservative vaccine.
The conservative vaccine.
But you work.
That's right. So how do you have those conversations early and go, hold on. That's not what conservatism is. That's not what we're supposed to be standing for. We are free markets. We are small government. When you have somebody who does bring that to the table, how do you deal with that at the county committee level, Central Committee level?
Well, we have to watch what people vote for, how they vote once they become a part of the council. And we found that there are 3 or 4 people on our county council that are not voting Republican. They are not voting for government. They're not voting for the people. They're voting for bigger government, more government control, more. We actually have part of our government that now is even our planning and zoning has a lot of control, and it has posed a problem for small businesses. We have so many empty buildings, even on our streets, that, and part of that is it takes 9 months to get a permit to change an electric outlet, or to change, to do a lot of those things. And so we want to vet some people and make sure that they are Republican and that they will vote Republican and they will vote for pro-life, small businesses, be small government, and to also have vote with the people in mind.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's the consequence for kind of veering off the Republican reservation here? Is it? I mean, if somebody, on one of Mike's baseball teams, he violates the rules of baseball repeatedly, eventually they don't get to play anymore. You're out.
And we definitely would not throw a fastball up at their chin. That would never happen.
That would never happen.
Say it on the air. That would never happen.
Wink, wink. So what is the consequence, and also how do you do so without veering into purity tests where you have to be this or else you're right?
Well, hopefully, as voters, we will say, hey, you haven't been voting or behaving like a Republican, so we have these people that will replace you. And so hopefully that's what will happen. We have to do that at the ballot box. We have to make sure that we are following, and we do have to check into what the votes are.
Yeah, and who runs for and gets elected to the Central Committee? That is not the glamorous in the news thing, but that's where the work's done.
Yeah.
In so many different ways. So Nora Ross, Jefferson County Central Committee. Do you guys have a website or social media or anything, or you just kind of? Yeah, most of them don't. So, but if they do want to be involved, when are the meetings? Where are the meetings? If somebody wants to get in touch.
The meetings are the 4th Tuesday of every month.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Nora, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
just want to say before we jump off, Lunch Lady on Rumble, she says, I'm tired of voting incumbents. I think they blow smoke and then they get in and get big lobbyists by them.
Happens so many times.
So your committee is working against that kind of thing.
Yes.
Right, absolutely.
All right, I want to, and Christine Eoff from Sugar Creek is here as well. But Christine, I want to diverge just for a second from all this political stuff. Jet is with us here, and Jet, you guys prepared this fantastic breakfast.
Yes, sir.
And you are with Freedom from Adult and Teen Challenge of St. Louis, and it says Freedom from Addiction starts here. First of all, the breakfast is great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But
They do a great job.
But this is being done vocationally. This is being done with a purpose as well. So I just wanted to pause for a second, not just to give a shout out to your organization, but because this is kind of at the core of what a lot of us really believe. And I don't mean conservative in a political sense, but conservative in an individual sense and an integrity sense, and that that dignity of work kind of sense. So what is it that you're doing and with the folks that you're working with right now?
So Adult and Teen Challenge of St. Louis is a faith-based 12-month-long rehabilitation program for men and women struggling with life-controlling issues, drug addiction, alcoholism. And one of the big parts of the program is a vocational program. And they do about 4.5 hours a day. Each man in our program does work detail, and the women do as well. But one of the things we've kind of rolled out late is catering services. Events like this, where there's a lot of people that are going to get together. We already have a commercial kitchen, and we figured that's somewhere we could venture out and also teach our individuals how to have a productive life skill once they get out of our program and start their new life in recovery back in the community. Because one of the big things a lot of rehabs kind of struggle and miss the mark on is they don't really prepare people for what happens after they get out of rehab. And that's one of the big things is we want to help these guys establish life skills that they can use and that can translate when they get out. And catering services is always something that people need. So we kind of wanted to dip our toes into that, if you will. And we're glad you enjoyed the breakfast for sure.
Now, Pastor Jeff, the rise in addiction seems to be, it's all over the news. So many people on these these drugs that can destroy lives
100%.
in an instant. It seems like.
Yep.
And have you seen a precipitous increase in the number of people who needing your help, or how's that been in the last few years?
So one really cool thing about that, it's a bad thing that drug addiction is on the rise. Over 112,000 people actually died in our country last year from overdoses. That's mind-boggling when you think about it. But whenever you look at statistics on people going in programs, so 2.5 years ago we were a 24-man program. We had 24 men capacity. Now we are at 40 men at our men's center, and we stay full. We cannot hang the phone up quick enough to have someone else calling in to come in. I have never seen, this is usually the low time of year for most rehab programs because it's nice weather. People don't mind being homeless. There's a lot of work in the trades and stuff. It's a lot easier to kind of piecemeal a job together. Right now, we are staying full and the phone is going crazy. And I've been here for 12 years. I've never seen anything like this. We are actually increasing our capacity at our men's center to 53 within the year. And our women's center will go from 12 to 20 within the year.
Where do they come from when they come to you? I mean, how do they get in touch with you? I mean, are there churches or courts or where is it that people find you?
So we get a lot of people from church, but I would say probably 75% of our people are privately referred. Family members hear about us because we're entirely free in nature. We don't charge anything. You can come to our program for the full year for entirely free. So a lot of people hear about that, and it kind of gets the phones ringing. Also, hospitals, whenever they have someone coming in that detox, they'll call us and refer us. Psychiatric facilities kind of refer people to us sometimes. And then about 25% is probably those people that are court mandated.
All right, and is this residential or is this non-residential?
We're residential.
Oh, it is residential.
Fully residential.
And it's still free.
100% free.
So and I'm gonna make a audible here right now because I've got Christine Eoff from there. Christine, can you hang on just a couple more minutes because I want to talk to Jet here, and then we're gonna do an information segment, and then if you could hang on right after that because there's a lot going on in Jefferson County that you and Dwayne have your finger on. I want to touch the pulse of that. So, but you mentioned the faith-based. This is free. Obviously, you're doing some sort of fundraising and grant writing, but talk about that faith element of it and that vocation element of it, because a lot of times people see that as something separate. And I happen to know I have a very, very smart person in my house that I happen to be married to.
Your professor wife.
My professor wife, who makes it a point to talk about the importance of vocation and faith-based vocation, not necessarily ministry, but faith-based vocation as far as a sustainable life and the dignity of work. And that's what I'm seeing here. And just one correction, I didn't enjoy the breakfast past tense. I still am. It's present tense.
It's currently, yes.
Yeah. So with that, one thing I'll say is obviously we're a Christian program. One of the Bible verses, not to get too out there on it, but it says, whatever work you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for man. Colossians 3:23. So JJ runs our catering, and he has a few men that kind of assist him and come beside him. I told him, I don't really want you to teach these guys how to cook. I want you to teach them the actual ethics behind working. I want you to teach them how there's a purpose to work, and you're not just preparing some food, but this is actually a part of giving back to the community and learning how to be a servant leader and teaching other people to do that. It's a big, big part of it. Even AA and 12-step programs, a big part of it is getting outside of yourself and learning to give back to the community around you. It's a huge part of it.
Pastor Jeff, what do you need? Because whenever I see a ministry that is doing the work, that's really doing something, and we know free isn't free. Free means other people gave to make it happen. So what do you need so I can help, so the people listening can help?
Yeah, free is a big thing. I'll tell you right now. 14 years ago, I was struggling with Oxycontin addiction and Xanax addiction. I got 14 years in recovery myself. This program saved my life and gave me a second chance at life. And right now I literally have the life I never thought possible. And it happened because of the generosity of other people, because my family was at the point where they weren't going to spend any more money on me. They were done helping me. They were done doing things for me. So the big thing to run what we run is financing. So we're privately funded for the most part, and just donors and things of that nature and businesses.
Let's give out the website information. If you're on social media, great. But people want to learn more. My guess is I just got a gut feeling. Somebody went, I need to check into that, either because they know somebody or they see that it's a different type of work. It's not just a government program or handout. It's an actual dignity work thing. So people want to learn more. How do they do it?
You can go to our website, www.atcstl.org, or you can contact our office at 677-1776. And I'd be happy to talk to anybody and help anybody in any way I can.
All right, ATC as an Adult and Teen Challenge, atcstl.org. All right, Pastor Jet Ainsworth. Hey, appreciate it.
Hey, thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, Christine, you don't go anywhere. You see,
I'm
you
not.
hang right
I'm
here.
right
You're-
here.
I got questions for you, young lady.
Hopefully I have answers.
We are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course here in High Ridge. Still got time to come on out, say hi, grab yourself a complimentary breakfast. And we're going to be talking to a lot of candidates and office holders still ahead right here on 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
Like us on Facebook at News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Wake up, kids, we got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, we got you down on your knees. So alive, we're busy still saying please.
What's the key to maximizing the value of your outdoor space? Satisfaction. And getting a fence or deck that exceeds expectations with the highest quality, American-made material. And working with a team that cares about your project as much as you do. And adding safety and security for your family and pets to play, relax, and entertain. At STL Fenceworks, satisfaction is our core value. Doing it right the first time, standing above the competition. At STLFenceworks.com, your satisfaction is our passion.
Hi, it's Dr. Randy Tobler, along with daughter Sammy Tobler-Gregory, a team member here at our family-owned Body of Health Direct Primary Care Practice. Sammy, what are patients telling you about their experience at Body of Health?
I can't tell you how many patients I've had come to me and tell me they just so appreciate getting to sit across the table with their doctor and chat about whatever's going on with their healthcare needs for however long they need.
Want to learn more about healthcare the way it ought to be? Schedule a discovery call at bodyofhealth.com. That's bodyofhealth.com.
Are you concerned about the future of America, the economy, the courts, threats to our freedoms? Chris Arps here. Join News Talk STL for Saving America 2024, June 25th at the St. Charles Funny Bone. Hear from renowned experts Joel Griffith and Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation as they analyze the critical issues facing our nation and provide insight into securing America's prosperity. Secure your tickets now at newstalkstl.com before they sell out.
Brought to you by West and Mid Rivers News Magazines and the St. Louis Young Republicans.
Looking to get a new carpet, hardwood, or tile installed quickly and efficiently in your home? Look no further than Michael's Flooring Outlet. Michael's Flooring Outlet is a family-owned and operated business with a 30-year history of offering a diverse array of high-quality options in flooring. My parents and in-laws used Michael's to rip up their old carpet and replace it. They are both happy with the product and installation from Michael's. You can shop at one of their 3 locations in Creve Coeur, Darting Prairie, or St. Peters, or you can check them out at igotfloored.com. That's igotfloored.com.
This hour of Mike Ferguson in the morning brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less. 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. Love the music you hear on the morning show? Check out Mike's morning music playlist at newstalkstl.com.
Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it. She loves to laugh, she loves to sing, she does everything.
All right, you got about an hour or so, maybe a little bit more, to come on out and break bread with us, or break pancakes with us, I guess would be the better way to put it, right here at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge. Mike Ferguson, Gabe Pfeiffer, we are here with Joey V. Stell is, of course, running the fort in Maryland Heights as well. Christine Eop from Sugar Creek Golf Course with us here. First of all, thank you for having us.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. This has been so fun.
It is so much fun. And I just looked out back where, like, everybody's got the campaign booths and the signs, and it is red, white, and blue absolutely everywhere. Of course, having the sheriff on a little bit ago was a lot of fun as well. But I want you to take off your hat of, golf course.
Okay.
I want the hat of business owner.
Okay.
Jefferson County. We've just got a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of different office holders and candidates, and I'm hearing and seeing different perspectives on things. Listen, growth is coming to Jefferson County, whether Jefferson County wants it or not. It's happening because people want to get the heck out of St. Louis County and the St. Louis City and the line parts, and they can go north to St. Charles County. They can go south to Jefferson County. What is it that Jefferson County, first of all, is offering from a residential or business perspective, and what's the state of the government being either willing or unwilling to adapt to it and bring it in.
Absolutely. So I think one of the neat things about Jefferson County is, the land. We have great parks. It's just the ability to not, be so cram packed, especially like in the city or in county and subdivisions. You can actually have some acreage. For those that are animal enthusiasts, they can find property for horses. The little mini cows that everybody is obsessed with right now. They're so cute. So, it's just a whole new world, kind of in the county. I've lived in the county almost my entire life. When Highway 30 was one lane going to and from, never knew a traffic jam until you got behind a tractor on Highway 30 heading out. So I was out here way before they would even deliver pizza. I mean, that was terrible.
Wow.
Being a kid and not being able to get pizza. I had to drive. We lived out, had to drive on Highway B to Raintree to get a pizza. So, it is important for people to be able to kind of live the life that they want to live. And, the county, we really need to get people that are pro growth, people that support small businesses, that, have the good tax rate for the business holders, because, they're not making that much, but it is a passion that they have, and they want to be able to continue that passion and, not be so inundated with taxes and all the political stuff that goes along with it. So as a business owner, it is great to be out here. The people are just amazing. And, we hope that we can get a government in place that will support those businesses and the growth and continue keeping Jefferson County a fun and sustainable place to live in the future.
Yeah, that free market approach to things. All right, Christine, thank you for being such a
Oh,
great host.
thank
This
you.
is so much fun. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it. And still come on out and join us. We're at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
KLGY HD3 Clayton, K270BW Bellefonte, KNBS Bowling Green. This is News Talk STL at 1019, 94.1, and always streaming at newstalkstl.com.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken says the United Nations Security Council's vote in favor of a U.S.-backed proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza has made it, quote, as clear as it possibly could be that the world supports the plan. He again called on Hamas to accept it. In a pre-recorded message to the people attending an event hosted by the Danbury Institute, former President Donald Trump says it's important that Southern Baptists vote in the upcoming presidential election.
We have to defend religious liberty, free speech, innocent life, and the heritage and tradition that built America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are, as you know, a declining nation.
The Danbury Institute promotes Judeo-Christian values and wants abortion to be, quote, eradicated entirely. Momentum grows behind a Democratic boycott of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech before Congress next month.
Some Democrats had foreshadowed the boycott earlier this year amid speculation that Speaker Mike Johnson would invite Netanyahu to the Capitol to push back against Democratic criticism of the conservative Israeli leader. With the invitation now official and the speech set for July 24th, more and more progressive Democrats are emerging with a formal declaration of their own. We won't be there. The bad blood between Netanyahu and liberals on Capitol Hill is hardly new. Progressive Democrats have long denounced Netanyahu's conservative policies, including his sharp criticism of the Iran nuclear deal under former President Obama, which led to a boycott of the Prime Minister's last speech to Congress almost a decade ago. One notable absence from Netanyahu's speech in 2015 was then Vice President Joe Biden, who instead of sitting at the dais behind Netanyahu, was traveling abroad. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Jurors are set to resume deliberations in the criminal case against Hunter Biden over a 2018 gun purchase when prosecutors say President Biden's son was in the throes of a crack cocaine addiction. On Wall Street, Dow futures are down 142 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800.
From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight. A low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon. And by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
This hour of News Talk STL brought to you by Chris Cooper and Serenity Wealth Management. Discover little-known strategies that could be the difference between choosing the care you deserve or having someone else decide it for you. Get a free copy of Chris's book at serenityltc.com.
There she goes again. It might be out of here. 4 in a row for Museum.
The Cardinals host the Giants Saturday, June 22nd, and that day, 25,000 fans, 16 and up, will take home a popular 30-ounce Stanley Musial tumbler. This exclusive Cardinals beverage holder is stainless steel and comes complete with a handle, lid, and straw, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Quench your thirst in style at Busch Stadium Saturday, June 22nd. For tickets and more details, go to cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Ozzie Smith, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lube.
TGI Summer, calling all teachers. Teachers Night presented by Millipore Sigma returns to the ballpark on Monday, June 24th and Tuesday, June 25th. With the purchase of a special theme ticket, you will take home an exclusive Cardinals quarter zip pullover featuring the birds on a pencil. And as a special treat, you will receive a drink coupon for a drink on us. For more information or to purchase, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Nolan Arenado, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
Mike Ferguson.
We the people.
Gabe Pfeiffer.
It's not rocket science. Rocket science.
Get up, in case you hear the alarm.
Mike Ferguson in the morning on News Talk STL.
All right, here's the big question, Gabe, is what will Missouri's next Republican majority look like?
Yes, that's a really big question because the last majority didn't work out the way we wanted it.
It's like Jim Carrey in The Mask. That's what it looked like.
Surprise.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Well, we've got some of the candidates here. Wanted to shape that. We'll get started there in just a moment. By the way, St. Louis News Talk STL, the debate party. The debate party coming up for St. Louis is going to be at Johnny's Hideout here in High Ridge. And I've said it once. I'll say it again. Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Thank God we're going to be watching the debate in a place where alcohol is available to us.
Yes, that's going to be a show and a half.
I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing that at Johnny's Hideout. And Chris Arps and Tim Jones are going to be doing their show from Johnny's on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then after that, basically, we're taking over, man.
Yeah, and please, no drinking games. Our liability insurance will not cover alcohol poisoning.
If you get on your bingo card, old man squats like he's filling a diaper, then you're going to have the winning bingo card.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to cover like 3 or 4 spaces with that. Also, the mumbles. The mumbles that's the free space in the middle.
Right. Exactly. Right. Okay. Let's. The funny part is that we're not actually.
we're only sort of joking.
That's right. 330 million Americans, and this is what we're talking about in our presidential debate. America. All right.
Yep.
Join
That's
us
the
by
beer.
State Representative Cindy Buckeye Cordway, running for state senate.
Way too much fun. This
Okay,
morning.
so Cindy, let me first give you the question as to why the House is the functional one right now. The Senate is the dysfunctional one. Why do you want to cross over into the other side of the building, knowing what you're walking into?
Like you said, the House is somewhat functioning,
Yeah.
and I've enjoyed the last 4 years immensely. When Senator Gannon decided not to run for reelection, it became a good opportunity for me to get over there because we need some good common sense in our Senate, and I can offer that.
Okay, tell me about what that majority, that Republican majority, should look like. You know, I've been around the media business for quite a while, and eventually, if you don't have that common vision, what happens is it splits. You look at Kansas, you look at, some other places where you get the conservatives and then you get kind of the establishment and then you get this almost pseudo coalition government, and suddenly the left is more relevant because you've got a pseudo coalition government. I think Missouri's at risk of that right now. Are you seeing that, and what would you bring into the caucus to help avoid some kind of fracture in there?
Sure. So right now we have a big fracture, and that's unfortunate. But there are some people that are in there that are running for higher offices, so we know they won't be back. So there may be some that are similar to them that take their place, and that can happen. But my husband and I, we have a blended family. We have 5 kids and 17 grandkids. Believe me, I'm used to getting in there and duking out some stuff. I know how to compromise and I know how to get things done.
So what does the leadership look like if you get in? You're going to be voting for who's in leadership. That seemed to be one of the major issues that we had in our last session here. What is the ideal leadership?
Yeah,
I'll ask that.
A lot of conservative frustration with the leadership in particular, because there's nothing the Republicans could not have gotten done if they'd wanted to do it, but they got very little of the big red things done.
Sure. So Senator Rowden, he's gone. He's at the end of his term, so he can't run again. So we know he's out. Senator O'Laughlin, she's been at the helm with him. I'm thinking she's probably going to want to still be in leadership, and I'm not really sure who the other option is as far as who else is going to run. I think it's going to depend on who gets in there, and if there is that faction, who can get the most votes for their person.
What do you want to see in a leader?
In a leader, I want to see someone who wants to work together. I want to see someone who wants to get good Republican conservative issues across the line. I had a couple of bills this year that were great bills. They went through the House with no problem. They got over to the Senate and they died. And I'm talking, one of them was about naming heroes, fallen police officers, fallen military, naming roads after them. I mean, come on, that's common sense. Let's give these heroes their due. Couldn't even get that across the line because the last 2 weeks were so dysfunctional, just like every other year I've been in the House.
Speaking of bills, what's at the top of your agenda? What's the first thing you want to get across the finish line?
Sure. I had several different bills that I filed this year that I'd love to see cross the finish line next year. One would be that bill naming the heroes. One would also be, there's a mental health bill I have. We have way too many people dying of suicide. The borders are such a crisis coming over. So we have people dying from overdoses. And it's not just older people, it's kids. So this bill that I have for mental health awareness would start teaching kids in 5th grade about mental health awareness and suicide awareness, what to look for in themselves, what to look for in their friends, where to go for help. It gives the teachers a little bit of a ground to know where to go to help these kiddos. If a kid's having a problem at school, a lot of the schools just take them straight to the emergency room. They don't need to go to the emergency room. Then there's the stigma, and we need to stop that stigma. Mental health is just like health. It should be treated just like any other health. Cancer, heart attack, a broken leg. Mental health needs to be treated as such. And we have the problem where we're not treating it as such. So those are a couple of my priorities that I would love to get across the finish line if I get in the Senate.
We've heard a lot about, initiative petition reform on that. The Republicans are just going to have to try to take another swing at it. A lot of people looked at the school choice bill as a baby step in the right direction. Other people didn't like it. What should that look like from a statewide policy level when it comes to parental choice, school choice in Missouri?
Absolutely. School choice it should be way, way, way up there on the top of our list. We should give parents and children choices because unfortunately, some of our public education just isn't cutting it. And you've got a kid goes to a specific school and they can't meet his needs. He needs to be able to have options to go somewhere else that can help him. If you look at it, for where I'm from, Jefferson R7 area, years ago, we only had a K-8 school. So every one of our kids, when they graduated 8th grade, they got to choose whether they wanted to go to Herculaneum, Crystal City, they could go to Festus, they could go to St. Genevieve. They got to pick where they wanted to go. How cool is that? The 5 kids that my husband and I have, 2 graduated from Festus, 1 from Crystal, 1 from Herky, 1 from R7. How great is that, that they all got to choose where they graduated from?
So there's still rivalries at Thanksgiving?
No, I don't care.
Just saying. All right. And Cindy, what's the website, the social media? People want to, be in touch. You're in a contested primary here.
Absolutely.
So what is it people can do to go find out what you're all about so they can compare and contrast?
Sure. CindyForMo.com. That's CYNDI, the number 4, Mo.com. It has all kinds of stuff about me there. You can always reach out to me. I'm just a phone call away, willing to help.
Cindy, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in, Representative.
Thank you.
All right, now we've got Leslie Cheek. She's running for Jefferson County Council, District 4, if I'm reading this right.
District 4.
District 4. Thanks for being here, Leslie. Okay.
Thanks for having us.
The theme that I'm hearing over and over and over again is how wide open will the door be in Jefferson County for new residents, for new businesses, and correspondingly, is the county ready for that growth?
We've been ready for a decade. We haven't seen any growth, any new parks, very few rooftops. I'm a real estate broker for over 30 years. I used to convince people, come to Jefferson County, our taxes are cheaper. Now, because we've consumed no new growth at all, our taxes are outrageous, and people, their biggest issue is taxes. How do we stop the taxes if we don't have rooftops? We need small businesses. We need the community to pull together. We need parks. We need it so we can stay in our community. My son's a union worker. He drives an hour to work and an hour back every day. He has 4 children. We need businesses here that they can work and raise their family and be proud where you live.
And so you're talking about the additional businesses, the rooftops. A lot of times people, it's oversimplified, but it really is true. You're talking about a broader tax base as opposed to a higher tax rate.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So in that case right there are some people, I know that this is a debate here in Jefferson County, and that is, but we don't want all those people. We like our small town. And there's almost this don't come here, go somewhere else kind of mentality. I know that's part of the debate that's happening in here. And so is there a right balance, or is there just simply a right and wrong side to the debate?
I think there's a smart choice. If we do it the right way and we pull together as a community and we truly listen to our people, there's a way to keep our farms whole and let them use their land for what they want. There's enough land out there that it's called smart usage. We can have homes. We need homes for our senior citizens. Right now, they're going into a retirement home or they are living with family. Why is there not a step down for a place to keep our senior citizens for they feel like it's there still? It's the American dream. Everyone wants that, but you need to be proud of where you are. And I keep hearing over and over, we don't want growth. We don't want this, but you don't want high taxes. Our schools should be number 1. We have dropped drastically. We have had no growth in Jefferson County for over a decade. It is now time to do it the right way. Pull together as a community, have some more events. People keep saying I'm comparing us to St. Charles. I don't believe I am. But you look at St. Charles streets, their street lights, their sidewalks. You're proud to be there. I want to be proud where I live. I mean, if we're going to have a no bus zone, 1.5 miles from each community, then we need to have street lights and sidewalks for our children to walk to school and feel safe.
You mentioned a no bus zone. I guess that's kind of some of the unique policies that are out here that might be impediments to growth. So what are the other sorts of things, I guess, that government has a hand in that can encourage the type of growth that you're asking for?
The school growth, the more rooftops you have, the more you have in schools. They were trying to take our schools down to a 4-day school day. We were 119 2 years ago when I was a realtor. We are 158 for our Fox School District. That is sad. We have good teachers. We have good pay. We don't need less days in school. Our children need to be taken care of. We need to put them first. And the way to do that is to have more rooftops, homes, even apartments. It has to be everything in a moderation, but there needs to be more jobs and businesses here locally. You shouldn't feel like when your child has an event, a hockey event or a dance recital. My grandchild is going to dance recitals. We're driving all the way to St. Charles from St. Genevieve to go to pay $28 to watch your grandchild. We have enough land. Why can't we have an arena close?
We're visiting with Leslie Cheek, running for the the Jefferson County Council. Okay, so the $1 million question here, last minute or so we've got is, from a county council perspective, then what do you change to invite and allow and do that the right way? How do you bring that in? Obviously, there's opposition to some of those things, but if you're elected, what do you want to see the county council change to facilitate that?
There's 6 people on a county council. It's a majority vote, and it's everybody in agreement. You're just simply a negotiator. It's all about common sense. They're not going to just have you vote on something that you know nothing about. They're giving you all the tools to make a right decision. And if the right people are in place and we listen to our community and we come together, we're going to make the right choice.
Okay, website, social media information. People want to find out more about what you're doing and how they do it.
I have a website, Leslie Cheek for Council, and it's on Facebook. You can reach out. My telephone number, 314-910-8210. Love to answer any questions. And if I don't have the answer, I'll find out.
All right, Leslie, good chat with you. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
I got to tell you, one of the things that amazes me in so many different places, like, you can have the American dream, just fill out this form and ask for a permit from the government, and maybe we'll let you do it.
Yeah, don't get me started on the permit battle I've had for just renovating my basement. I just want to add some more usable square footage to my own house. Leave me alone.
All right, there you go. All right, 314-912-1019. Let's dump some news on you here in just a minute. And then we are here at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, Missouri. There is still some coffee here, but I think we've eaten the food.
Yeah, the food's like, I think I had the last plate here. So,
there you go.
I will take the highest bidder for my leftover. No, I'm kidding.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
All right, we're here on 101.9 News Talk STL.
Like and subscribe to us on Rumble. News Talk STL. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Caring for a loved one is stressful. It's an emotional time, and we want our loved ones to get the quality of care they deserve. But the cost of long-term care is expensive. In the St. Louis area, it could be $60,000, $70,000, or even over $100,000. Can your savings handle this added expense? Fortunately, News Talk STL listeners have an expert right here. Financial strategist Chris Cooper of Serenity Wealth Management shows families tax-efficient strategies to fund care needs. Whether planning in advance, have health concerns, or living in a care community today, solutions exist to fund the quality of care you deserve.
Hi, I'm Chris Cooper, and I'd love to send you a free copy of my new book. You'll learn about strategies to empower you and your family, protect your savings, and make sure your loved ones get the quality of care they deserve.
Visit SerenityLTC.com. That's SerenityLTC.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors.
The Vic Porcelli Show.
If it's radical to want to continue to cut and rein in the size and scope of our ridiculously engorged government, then you call me a radical every day from Sunday. If it's radical to cut taxes, give children and parents the choice of getting a great education, then call me a radical.
Tim Jones, you radical. Vic Porcelli, live and local, weekday mornings at 9 on News Talk STL. News Talk STL.
First thing in the morning and pretty much all day.
Live and local. 1019 and 94.1. News Talk STL.
Hi, this is Mark McCloskey. Check out my show, Mark McCloskey on Fire, Sunday afternoon at 5 here on News Talk STL. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
All right, do the crime, do the time, get hired at taxpayers' expense anyway. It's the St. Louis City way, Gabe. I want to tell everybody about that. Maybe around 8:50.
The corruption is real.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Any time that you hear somebody say, oh, St. Louis City's government couldn't get any dumber than that, it's not a challenge for City Hall. Stop it. All right, people said, cool your jets to one government board, and they listened. And that's newsworthy now.
I like when that happens.
And after a short breather, the Cardinals are going to try to break out of the pack of mediocre teams.
Wake up, America. It all worked out.
They got all the news.
The morning news dump.
All right, a memo from the Border Patrol officials, according to Fox News, instructs agents in the San Diego area to release single adults. By the way, we're talking about single adults who are in the country illegally if they're from any of the majority of nations in the Eastern Hemisphere. One of our senators, Eric Schmidt, was on the Ingram Angle on Fox last night reacting to that news.
Only 6 countries are noted in the Eastern Hemisphere. That means if you're from China, if you're a spy from China, you can get here for $5,000 to $10,000, and you'll be in the interior of the United States through catch and release. If you're a terrorist from Iran, same deal.
All right, and the Border Patrol says, oh, but don't worry about it. That's just the instructions for San Diego in that region. The rest of the border, that's not the rule, but just for San Diego. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not like hundreds of thousands are coming across that particular border at any given time.
And I've seen that border with my own eyes, that part of the border. You can literally see it from the baseball stadium in San Diego.
And being absolutely lawless doesn't help things.
No, exactly. All right, a little closer to home here. There may not be a quick decision on closing libraries in St. Charles County after all.
Good.
So here's what's going on. Because of the backlash from hundreds of residents, the library board says it is going to delay the decision. Now, they're not saying they're not going to do it, but they're saying that they're going to delay the decision. That vote was actually supposed to happen next week. That was the original schedule. I'll tell you why in just a second. The current proposal, as you probably know, is to close the Maclay, the Kisker Road, and the Deer Run branches. And they were looking at closing them this year as early as literally this month or next month. The delay is to allow more feedback from the public. They received like 600 messages, which is almost unheard of. And they want the public to look at other alternatives if the budget allows those. Now, remember, one of the options is still to close them. As of right now, there is no set date for a vote, but there will be more public meetings and more hearings and things like that.
Yeah, okay. They went a little too fast with that whole thing. So giving the people time to comment and maybe come up with a better solution than closing branches, I think is a good thing.
Absolutely. Okay, as we know, we talked about Israel's raid that rescued 4 hostages over the weekend. Several hundred Palestinians were killed in that operation as well. Of course, and that's got the media and the left, but I'm being redundant there.
Yeah, exactly.
Senator Ron Johnson out of Wisconsin, a Republican out of Wisconsin, reacted to that pushback on the Faulkner Focus on Fox.
It was Hamas that broke the ceasefire by brutally slaughtering 1,200 Israeli civilians. It is Hamas that took the hostages. It is Hamas that hides this weaponry, hides themselves amongst civilians, and now they hide the hostages as well. And listen, I'm sure there are innocent civilians, but they're probably complicit civilians as well.
I'm glad he had the cojones to actually say that part out loud, because that's something that that people get just jumped all over on social media when they say, yeah, civilian doesn't mean non-combatant.
That's true, especially given we had a journalist and a doctor who were housing hostages. That would make you a jailer, in any other situation.
Precisely. All right. Will he or won't he? Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is so far, at least as of end of business last night, beginning of today, declining to testify about his prosecution of Donald Trump. And he's being asked by House lawmakers to come testify at a committee. Bernie Bennett has the story for us.
In a letter to House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio, Bragg's general counsel, Leslie Dubeck, said that the district attorney has scheduling conflicts that will keep her from appearing before Congress. However, Dubeck indicated that Bragg may be open to cooperating with the committee in the future. House Republicans invited Bragg to Congress on June 13th to answer questions about his prosecution of President Trump, who was convicted on all 34 counts of falsifying business records brought by the district attorney. In the letter, Dubeck criticized the invitation for Bragg to testify, writing that Jordan, quote, has not made clear the scope of the proposed testimony. Stephanie Farrell, a spokesperson for Chairman Jordan, said, quote, everything is on the table as to what comes next. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something a little controversial here, Gabe.
Okay.
Go ahead and react. Feel free to disagree with me.
All right.
They're wanting him to testify for what? For sound bites, or are they going to investigate this as a possible criminal investigation, civil rights investigation?
That's a good
What is
question.
it? I mean, are we going to do more C-SPAN sound bites, or are they actually going to dig into something? And I haven't seen what they want to do with this. I'm not saying that I agree with what was done. I'm just saying are we just chasing headlines again, or are they going to actually do something?
I would really appreciate if something actually came up out of these hearings, more so than just the various sound bites. I think that people are campaigning on and raising money on.
Right. I'm growing a little tired of all the hearings and all of this sort of thing, and there's
Yeah.
very little that's being done with it.
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to say that because we have a common opponent. I understand that, but I'm just going to call it like I see it here. Okay, a couple sports notes here. Well, one sports note here. The Cardinals start a series with the Pirates tonight at home. Looks like Miles Michaelis is still scheduled to be on the mound to start this game for the Redbirds. Cardinals had yesterday off, which is pretty unusual this time of the season. 3-game series with the Pirates. Basically, everybody who's not the Brewers are tied for second place
Yes.
in a very mediocre division.
Seriously.
So the fact that this is a division game means that the Cardinals have a big opportunity to sort of separate themselves out and move on up in the right direction. And speaking of the Cardinals, today is day 2 of the Cardinals annual blood drive. Among the locations today are the Salvation Army Gateway Citadel Corps on Union Road in the city, the James Egan Center in Florissant, and American Legion Post 365 in Collinsville. The drive runs from noon until 6 o'clock. As long as they have supplies, they are still giving away those kind of special occasion T-shirts. If you want to go give blood, you're going to find the complete list of the locations at the Cardinals website. There's 6 of them happening today, and they're going to be in different locations tomorrow. I know a lot of people really get kind of excited because they have a lot of fun with that. Who knows? Maybe Fredbird will show up.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yays.
Although I'm more excited for the cookies.
Well, yeah, who wouldn't be? All right, we are at the Sugar Creek Golf Course here in High Ridge, Missouri. A little bit longer. We've got some candidates hanging around. We're going to still have a few of these conversations. The people who are like what's happening here in Jefferson County, and also, somebody sent us a note on Rumble saying you need to do this in St. Charles County. Working on it, Laura.
Absolutely.
I think we're close to doing that here because we're going to be out throughout the summer. If you want Gabe and I to bring the show and Joey V to bring the show to you, let us know. You can email me, mike@newstalkstl.com. This is 1019 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. Mike Ferguson in the morning. From the Michaels Flooring Outlet Weather Center.
Summer style heat and humidity take over starting tomorrow. So let's make the most out of this one. We've got one more day of low humidity and pleasant mid-June highs up around 83. We'll drop from the 80s back down into the 70s by around 7 o'clock tonight. A low early tomorrow morning at 64. Then we go 91 for a hotter high Wednesday, 95 Thursday afternoon. And by that time, the heat index is approaching triple-digit territory. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Matt Chambers.
Harry.
A top cancer charity apologizes for using the word cervix instead of trans-friendly front hole. Now I think I've heard it all. I'm Tommy Lahren. More next.
Gold demand is hitting record highs, but supply may not keep up. I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe physical gold is the only way to truly protect your retirement savings from a chaotic world. To learn how to diversify your IRA or 401k into physical precious metals, text the word SHELTER to 989898 for a free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold Group. That's SHELTER to 989898.
Message and data rates may apply.
It seems Canada is trying to outwoke itself with this one. The Canadian Cancer Society has apologized for using the word cervix instead of trans-friendly front hole. In a statement from the nonprofit's website, the Canadian Cancer Society lamented their mistake and acknowledged that non-binary people have mixed feelings or maybe feel distanced from the term cervix and may prefer more inclusive terms like front hole. The statement also bizarrely claimed that men can have those body parts too, which outside of a very small minority of folks born intersex is a biological lie. Once again, the woke leftists are trying to erase women, our body parts, and everything that makes us scientifically unique in an effort to appease and affirm an extreme faction of the LGBTQ community. Where does it end? I'm Tommy Lahren, and you can watch my show, Tommy Lahren is Fearless, at Outkick.com.
Mike Ferguson here. Retirement should be a time you can relax. No more stress from work. But there's one thing you can't forget about when retiring. That's your money. Do you have enough saved to fund your income for life and keep up with inflation? How will you claim your Social Security benefits? And what about long-term care? The ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel is here to help answer all of these questions. You can hear their latest views on the markets and investing during On the Money, hosted by Stifel financial advisors Bob Stockdale and Eric Robert, every Saturday morning at 9, right here on News Talk STL. They can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call 636-695-2650, 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Tim Jones here with Dr. Pat Fader of Comprehensive Chiropractic. Doc, I hear you all have a new treatment program for everyone's chronic knee pain.
Tim, that's right. We are helping patients with chronic knee pain by addressing the root cause of their condition.
And what makes your program so unique?
Well, Tim, many programs focus on just one component of the problem, the structural component. Our program focuses on the metabolic and neurological component to complete the picture and improve our patients' outcomes. We get to the root cause of what is driving inflammation in a person's body and address it directly.
For your chronic knee pain and more, visit cchiropractic.com. All information, make an appointment at cchiropractic.com.
News, analysis, opinion.
We respect your passion and your opinion.
If it suggests a long-term trend, it's a real problem for Democrats broadly.
101.9 and 94.1.
Number one for conservative talk.
News Talk STL. News Talk STL. Always streaming on your smart speaker, our mobile app, or newstalkstl.com.
Hey, this is Todd Showalter. Join me on Saturday at 5 as I try to put some fun back into this dysfunctional radio station. It's The Right Mind Show with me, Todd Showalter, at 5 on Saturday. And, you know, speaking of dysfunctional, let's get back to Mike Ferguson in the morning.
Hey, I resemble that remark. All right, we are wrapping up out here at the Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, which my gosh, this has been so much fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Meeting so many people really involved in the process. We've got a couple more discussions here to come your way here in just a second. But by the way, it's coming, let's see here, next Monday, June 17th, the Jefferson County Republican Club is putting on the Conservative Showcase. I'm going to be there. I'm actually going to be the MC for this one. It's going to feature GOP candidates running for state representative, state senate, the seats in Jefferson County, county council districts as well. Great opportunity to hear directly from the candidates, learn where they stand, ask them yourself. I'm going to be there. Hope you can be there too. It starts at 7 o'clock. Going to happen at the Hillsborough Community Civic Club. If you want to learn more about it, jeffcogopclub.com. Once again, that is on Monday, June 17th for the Conservative Showcase. All right, I'm Mike Ferguson. Got Gabe here as well. Got Joey V out here in High Ridge. Stell is making things run at the studio headquarters as well. Joined now by Bill Lucas, who's running for the 115th district in the Missouri House. And Bill, good chat with you, man. Thanks for coming out.
Man, I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, this has been great here. So I'm there's a theme to my questions because I what you're running to do, be a part of the legislature, which affects everybody in the state. I mean, which affects a huge number of people, not just in the region, but in the state as well. And obviously, I think the Missouri Republican Party has kind of an identity crisis right now. I'll say, if the Missouri Republican Party is going to find itself, what should they find? Before we get into some of these issues, what does the Republican Party need to be in the body politic right now? What do they need to be standing for? What they need to be doing? Because they don't seem to be able to agree on that.
Sure, that to me, that's an easy one, a no-brainer. What I keep telling people is that we need to be more like the Democrats in that they circle the wagons, baby. When it's time for business to get done, they vote together, they march in lockstep, and the Republican Party has too many people who believe their morals or whatever. You know, it was called the most dysfunctional legislature in decades, and largely due to, I believe, the little problem in the Senate. And I think getting Cindy Courtway in there is going to go a long way towards helping that, I hope. But we got to stay together.
Now, when you stay together, is it a matter of, you know, obviously there are some people are saying this is the conservative versus the establishment thing. Do you see it in those terms, or how do you see it if that's not right?
I do not see it that way, really. And obviously I'm an outsider. I'm new at this. I've never been in politics before. I was a machinist. Okay. But I think they call that ballot candy. These guys trying to get stuff crammed into these bills. They wanted IP reform. Some people don't want that. I've talked to a lot of people since I decided to run who think that it was an important issue to at least make it a little higher threshold to get that done. But we had so many things added to it. The Democrats finally said we've had enough. And, you know, we made national news for not a good thing. You know, the Democrat, they filibustered for 50-something hours and they couldn't get that across the finish line. Yeah. And I thought that was just.
Yeah, but didn't the leadership kind of hand that to them, though? I mean, the Republicans could have passed this in February if they wanted to.
Well, I heard it passed once.
Yeah.
It went once and then came back and they added more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm an outsider and I can only go by what I've been told. But we need to work on that. We need to be able to come together somehow. And I've been told, oh, this is not going to happen because I'm a new guy. But when I get to Jeff City, I'm going to work on this next Saturday at a little event. And I'm going to try to get on Hardy Billington's team as the majority whip so that I can have somebody behind me when I go talk to people and say, come on, man.
So Bill, I've been asking other candidates this, pretty much all day. What's at the top of your priority list? What's the first thing you want to get done? I've been hearing a lot about IP reform in that regard and taxes. What's on top of your list?
Well, the taxes would be on top of my list, and I polled people on my Facebook page a week or so ago, and taxes is the number one thing they said. And most of them that said that taxes for seniors. And I witnessed this personally. You get to the end of the road. I retired 40 years as a machinist, own my own property free and clear. We just bought 16 acres about a year and a half ago, and we don't owe anything on it until December comes. Boom, $4,000. You think you're almost grasping that American dream, and then they come up and say, you got to pay this to own your stuff.
Yeah, you rent the American dream.
Right. And I think there's so much money being wasted that we could probably find a little bit of waste to give a tax break for seniors or something. I know Cindy Courtway, who managed this district wonderfully the past 4 years, has some legislation that she tried to get passed for that. And coincidentally, she is doing a great thing by stepping up and running for the Senate because we had a need to fill there. And I was approached by some people, and she wouldn't agree to run until she met me and believed that she had somebody that feels kind of the same way she does. She loves the district. I love my country, and I love my state, and now I'm going to try to love on the district as best I can.
All right, that voice you're hearing right now is Bill Lucas running for a state representative here. Last minute or so that we've got, Bill, when you look at a lot of the issues we know are going to come back up, you've already talked about initial petition reform. We've asked a few different people about what should the level of school choice, education freedom be in the state? When you look at, I mean, there was some expansion of it this past year. What should come next, if anything, when it comes to school choice? What's the right either balance or school choice or no school choice? What do you want to see?
Well, I am in favor of school choice. It's not a big thing in my district because we're more of a rural district. But in the urban areas, that'd be critical. If you've got a school that's just unperforming and they just seem like they're not willing to do the things you want them to do, you can send your child to another school. Another big thing with education is we need to keep the woke agenda out of our classrooms. Out. That's not. People are moving to Jefferson County. You guys, I've heard you talking about this all day, and it's because we're a little more old-fashioned, conservative, grassroots, people. We don't want this woke stuff in our state.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of the Republicans will be unified on, and I think they are chipping into that. Let me ask you about the machinist background here and the way it relates to public policy, workforce development. The governor made a big deal out of that a few years ago, as far as, people being job ready, as far as attracting employers. You got to have a good workforce ready for that. What's the state doing right and what's the state doing wrong when it comes to having that workforce that's attractive to the employers?
Well, I think not going right to work is important. We need to leave that the way it is, but I wish I was more educated on this question. I could answer it better, but I really need to look into that more to find out what they're doing. But Jefferson County could sure benefit from getting Highway 21 a little farther south. Maybe we get some industry down here.
So infrastructure.
Right, infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Yes,
okay,
for sure.
All right, Bill, go ahead and give out the website, social media.
Okay.
Let people know where they can find you, because they may have questions too.
Okay, my website is www.billformissouri.com, and my daughter runs my she got me new Facebook and Instagram and all that. The only one I mess with is Facebook, which is Bill Lucas for state representative.
All right. And Bill, FORMissouri.com.
Yes.
Bill4Missouri.com.
Yes.
All right. Hey, Bill Lucas, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so
I
much. Good to
appreciate
meet
you guys having me. Gabe, you too.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks
All
a
right.
lot.
Joined now by Brian Haskins from the Jefferson City Council, District 1. Man, I tell you, I got to tell you, Brian, we're just hearing so much about this debate over development and growth in the county. What nobody disagrees on, Brian, is that there are people and businesses who are looking at Jefferson County, who are interested in Jefferson County. The question is it the right investment, and are they going to be able to take advantage of that investment? Or, are they basic? It's not a matter of whether they're going to be allowed to come here or not allowed to come here, but how welcoming and how much of a return on investment are they going to get? How do you view where the county is right now when it comes to whether it's residential, business, whatever it is? How do you view where the county is right now? Where do you need to go?
Well, first, thanks. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, News Talk STL. It's great to have you in Jefferson County. It's great to have you at Sugar Creek. And most of all, thank you for coming to District 1, for which I represent. Those are all great topics. But first, I would want to make the point that, we all have ours behind our name. The election is really August for us.
Yes.
It's August. And my friends, Billy Crow, Brad Basler, and Leslie Cheek, that's the change we're talking about. We're talking about whether it's the builders, development, or even our administration. Our administration, they all fall under the same no vote. How would you like to be a developer and put about 140,000 together for a project? You go through planning and zoning, you get planning and zoning, and then all you get is a no vote.
Oh, yeah.
So there is, to the point, and I won't mention the builder, very, very large builder, said, Brian, we've given up on Jefferson County. I said, don't. You've got great candidates. So when you were talking about change, the change begins there. We've had 10 years, and you've heard people, 10 years of leadership, and I would say failed leadership. When somebody's been in a district for 10 years, and those folks are still waiting for their first swing set.
A swing set?
Correct.
Wow.
They don't even have a swing set in some of our districts. We didn't have a single playground in District 1 ever.
Really?
High density.
Wow.
We got our first playground. I think it was opened late last fall. What I'm saying is, the change comes from leadership. And most things are like that. It's the leadership. And we're going to have that change with those folks. And when you were talking about running for office, I do feel like I'm running for office. And the office is, I want to be chair. I want to have a chance to be chair and have true different change. And if with leadership position, with the help of our new council members, we can start, and we don't have to wait till January. We can start getting together and really make the change, because Jefferson County is the one county that many people will say, including the HBA, including home builders, that we have the most potential. Have you ever seen a child that is growing up and they got this great potential and they can throw, but they don't use the potential that God gave them?
Yeah.
Our county is blessed. And we're blessed to be next to St. Louis County, which is a mega machine. One out of every $4 in the state of Missouri comes from St. Louis County. So Jefferson County, we are in a position with the administration that we have. All we're lacking is a little leadership.
Now, you mentioned that the planning boards and those types of votes are the major impediment. Are there specific rules that are being that may need to be addressed, different legislation, or is it really just that you need an approval and you just can't get it?
We have a great planning and zoning board. We have all of those things in place. And they can vote, they can vote yes, but the ultimate last vote, and the only vote that matters, is the council vote. No different than any other charter county. So it simply doesn't matter. At the end, there are those folks who don't want rooftops. We have enough rooftops. We have enough parks. We have to give people reason to invest. Who wants to take, unless you're McBride Homes and you can afford to roll the dice. And I love McBride. They brought a lot of jobs, a lot of union jobs. But when the HBA and some of the leaderships think that Jefferson County, it's too roll of the dice. So we're going to have new leadership come January. And I think with the administration, the staff we have some of the best working staff anywhere, no doubt, because they have to work with our county council. And that alone makes it a challenge.
Well, and the market's there as well, because you mentioned St. Louis County, and that St. Louis County should be the fastest growing county in the state, and they're shedding people.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do, frankly, with bad government, because the infrastructure is there. I mean, the amenities are there, but the leadership is not there, and that makes a massive difference. A lot of people think, oh, it doesn't really matter who gets elected. You can get mad at him or like him, but the policy matters, and people make market decisions based on that.
Yeah, and I'll just leave you. I know the time's running short, but this gives you the perspective of how we are with this leadership of the county council. I mean, we haven't had a chance. In other words, why would we buy parks when people are going to, at the council level, vote down the parks? And in my district, District 1, we haven't bought parkland in this county since Beck Park 30 years ago. We got it for $20,000, 165 acres. But then the leadership said, after we have a chance to, with ARPA funds and other things, to invest in some of our parks, our leadership of the county council said, we are not putting any money in the park. And they had a vote, and it was successful.
Wow.
So when you have 1 acre of ground bought, 1 acre of ground bought in Jefferson County in 30 years for parks, and it was in District 1, the leadership that we have voted that down 3 times. And that's why I ran the first time. For a park in my district, 1 acre to add to the community center, when this group would vote that down, 1 acre. So we barely got that through when I became a councilman. And for that reason was what motivated me and my family to get involved. And now we have a chance with my friends, Leslie Cheek, Brad Basler, Billy Crow. We can make a change, and that change will come soon.
All right. And people want to be in touch with you. Is that they can get in touch with you through the county website? What's the best way to send their thoughts and questions and all that sort of
I'm glad you asked that, because nobody has a hard time because I wear my hat. It's on my truck. It's on my business. It's at my church. It's at the restaurant. I have my own table at the restaurant.
They'll see you around.
Everybody sees me every day.
All right.
I was on the school board here. In 2009, I was on the fire board. I grew up in High Ridge. I went to High Ridge Elementary. High Ridge Elementary, after, oh my God, so many years, they're putting a facelift to match the sidewalk. Everybody is getting involved now on the boulevard in my district. It's amazing. When you get a chance, drive down High Ridge Boulevard and you will be amazed at what you see. Thank you so much.
Yep, you got it. All right, Brian
Thank you,
Haskins, District 1, Jefferson County Council. Appreciate you being on, man. Thanks so much.
Brian.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, 314-912-1019. Got a few minutes left here. Let's wrap up here at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge, which, by the way, this has been beautiful. Those rolling hills right out that window out there.
This is beautiful.
It's funny because I drove by, it was still dark when I got here, and then the sun came up. I'm like, oh, wow, I drove through some beautiful area.
Yeah.
There.
You almost got accosted by a buck on the road.
I did. The first thing I saw when I pulled in was a great big buck, beautiful buck staring right at me. And I was like, man.
He didn't mind you, though.
No, he didn't care.
He's seen cars before.
He was fine. He was fine. All right, this is 101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
We give you news, analysis, opinion, and more. Only on News Talk STL. Get up, St. Louis. It's Mike Ferguson in the morning.
I don't know what I've been living on, but it's not enough to fill me up. I need more than just words to say. I need everything this life can give me. Hey, yeah.
We've been here 30 years. 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, did you just have your house painted? Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, no, it's actually Rhino Shield.
877-25rhino.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob Carter. Mike and Beverly Sloan are the visionary minds behind Living the Elite Life, a coaching program that extends their expertise to empower others in the realms of mindset, fitness, health, sobriety, and relationships. If you need just a little push to make your life a lot better, give them a call, 636-248-9799, or email beverlysloan1@gmail.com.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
St. Louis's new choice for conservative talk. Live and local.
I need to know what's going on in my city.
News Talk STL.
Hi, it's Randy Tobler here. Pour a big cup of coffee and catch my show every Saturday morning from 6 to 9. Right now, it's back to Mike Ferguson in the morning here on News Talk STL.
All right, wrapping up here at Sugar Creek Golf Course in High Ridge.
I've had a blast.
Oh, this has been so much fun. And we said, it was just a few weeks ago, we said, hey, if you want the morning show to come out to your neck of the woods, just let us know. Email me, Mike, M-I-K-E, at newstalkstl.com. We'd love to get around this summer. And, we had Laura on Rumble say, hey, do this in St. Charles. Do what you're doing. Lots of candidates lots of different important contested offices? The answer is yes.
Yes, it's always yes.
Yes, and actually we are working on some logistics. Hopefully we can nail something down in St. Charles County very soon, actually. And so if you would love to have the morning show out, we would love to be there. So let us know. But here's the thing. It's interesting because in Jefferson County, these debates that they're having there, it's obviously over growth. It's over role of government. It's over, for a lot of these candidates, I'm looking at the social media. For everyone who says, "Hey, I really liked hearing from that person," there's somebody who says, "I didn't like that person. I can't believe,"
Right.
And so that's why we do this and have the conversation.
Absolutely, and especially because these are the times where it's the red versus red battle.
That's
Sometimes
right.
that can be the most lively, especially in as red of an areas as we're talking about. And these are I think the most important conversations that we can have from a political standpoint. We know we're not going to agree with the Blues, but at the very least, we need to come to some sort of consensus on the red side.
And one of the things I appreciate is pretty much everybody has been really willing to take those inside baseball questions. Hey, the Republican Party in Missouri has an identity crisis right now. Who do you want the Republican Party to see when they look in the political mirror? Because those answers are all over the place. And we had some different answers and different perspectives on it here. And that's why we do this. All right.
Absolutely.
Vic Porcelli coming your way here in about 6 minutes right here on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL. Hey, if you haven't done it already and you're still watching us on social media, please hit the thumbs uppy like thing on there. It actually really makes a difference as well. And Gabe and I appreciate you being part of the program here, all the comments and everybody who stopped by. We had a lot of people come out to Sugar Creek Golf Course. This was a lot of fun. So thanks to the EOFs. Thank you to Sugar Creek Golf Course. And hopefully we can do this again very soon.
Because truth matters.
Let's speak that truth.
Because understanding matters.
Let's break this down.
With all that's happening,
And it's happening a lot faster.
what matters most is,
the only question that matters here.
are you informed?
Important issues that are facing this country.
Depend on us.
The latest events.
The information you need.
Here are the facts.
When you need it.
We always have great conversations.
You guys have a great radio station.
101.9 and 94.1 News Talk STL.
The Herzog Foundation is the vision of its founder, Stanley Herzog, and it exists to promote quality Christ-centered K-12 education nationwide.
Hi, this is Chris Stegall with the Herzog Foundation. We offer a wide variety of resources relevant to today's families, including a free online publication called The Lion. The lion is one of God's most majestic creatures, symbolizing strength and courage. Named for its attributes, the Lion publication carries articles covering a wide range of topics facing American families and culture, especially related to the education of children. The Lion can be